The train headed for Sunset City will be departing soon.
Is it time like right now?
Yeah, we're live.
Like the show?
Yeah, the show is live, Wayne.
Like it's on, like
Yeah,
right
just
now.
introduce the show, please.
Like
like
the
we
show is
agreed.
currently live at this moment right now.
Okay, no, it's not then. I'll just fucking take it off.
Hey there, everyone! Welcome back to Sunset City, a Sonic podcast for the classic and modern age. Over on the far end of the table, with 7 rings in hand, we have Channel Pup.
Hey, sorry, I was drinking. Hey.
Sitting next to him, bashing a talking sword with a big rock, we have Nick.
I died. Or rather, I had a dream I died last night, and it really messed me up. Messed me up really badly.
Were you at your own funeral and crying and sobbing and shit?
Well, no, just like the actual act of dying. That's what the dream kind of led into.
You saw yourself die?
It was no.
So it was like an out-of-body experience.
We were on a runway. I say me. I was in the co-pilot seat. Pup, I think you were trying to fly it, but you wouldn't actually ever take off, and then there was this giant plane behind us that was also gonna go on the runway. And you know how you sometimes can make your dreams, you can direct your dreams without meaning to. Like, for example, I was like, oh man, I hope the engine doesn't blow up on that other plane. And then, oh no, the engine blew up on the other plane. And it just kept creeping closer and closer and closer. And then suddenly everything stopped. And then I was like, what? Why is everything frozen? And then I realized, oh, the impact was so swift I didn't even realize it happened. It had already happened, and I'm just stuck in this still frame, and everything started just spiraling away a little bit, and it kept getting harder and harder to think. And I'm like, this is what dying must be. So I want to scream, but I can't scream. I want to call for help, but I can't call for help, and things were just fading away little by little, and it was the most terrifying thing. And then I woke up.
I guess we're even now after you invited fucking criminal terrorists to my fancy dress party that time and wouldn't even ask them to.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that dream.
Yeah, that happened.
That's how Nick became Frozen from the hit movie Frozen.
Makes you wonder though, you know what I mean?
So, for those wondering, Gilly and Sirius once again have hemorrhoids. That'll teach them to rub each other's chocolate starfishes together. But, yeah, they won't be in attendance today. But it is Gilly's birthday, so if you do want to send some money his way, you can do it via Sunset City, and he will get a share. And they will get read out at the end.
But do you ever think about that? What it must be like when your brain is dying, and it's just starting to spark away a little bit, and all is left in your brain can't even put together a thought. There's just little bits and pieces struggling to hold on to whatever is left of yourself, and all that's left.
I remember trying to have this literal conversation with you during a car journey, and you were like, I don't want to talk about this.
Yeah.
I remember. Why does this make me think of that one bit from like the Family Guy Star Wars special where Lois is talking about what it would have been like for Obi-Wan to get beheaded?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about. Or like Wild Wild West, when they chop out the head, and then they put like projector, and they're saying like, "Oh, it burns the last thing you saw."
I'm gonna be real with you, buddy. I've never seen Wild Wild West.
What a quality movie.
I think I perceived the giant steampunk spider as a child, and that is the only thing from that movie I've ever known.
That's the only thing
in that
movie.
That and you reciting the rap.
Everyone knows the rap more than they know the movie.
Imagine if, like, when you die, your consciousness, like, remains. So, like, say the body's dead, you still got the consciousness. You can still feel people, tapping at your willy and stuff like that, checking if you're alive. And when they cremate you, you can feel the heat from that. And when you're a skeleton, you can feel the cold because you can't, feel the skin on your bones anymore. And you can feel the darkness that comes with, your bones being bare. Wait, hang on. You don't become a skeleton after getting cremated. Let me try that again. So when you're ashes, you can feel that itchiness of, being a pile of dust and the claustrophobia of being stuck inside an urn. and then it's just
Or
like,
in
Oh, they released your ashes somewhere.
oh yeah, but then you're
or
just
in
all
a-
over the place, aren't you? You
Yeah,
know?
or in a can of Folgers coffee, just getting like set out into the wind over the ocean.
It'd be a hellish existence, but it would be an existence. The
It would.
terrifying idea is the lack of it. Trying to comprehend that,
But that's the
it just
thing is
rips my
like,
brain apart.
there's no guarantee that death is not fucking torturously awful, and like you tend to think, well, you know, would it really be that cruel? You know, but it's like, you know, people go through cruel things in life, so you know you can't rule out that, you know, death is, you know, equally cruel or maybe even more so. You know, it could just be terrible for absolutely everyone. You know, like everybody dies, everybody gets punished for the life they've lived, regardless of how well they've lived. You know.
I've got a
Again, though, it's
question.
existence in general. I think I would take that over the lack of it.
Oh yeah, I
I
like
have-
being alive. You know.
I have a
Mhm.
question. Why are we talking so much about this?
Because we're Sonic fans.
Death is fucking scary, man.
Okay.
Anyway, what's in the news, guys?
All right, what do we got? Okay, so this is kind of more of a cautionary, I guess, because we're not going to go into any detail on it, but there are leaks surrounding Sonic Frontiers Update 3 out there, so be vigilant, I guess, you know, keep an eye out for any
Be vigilant and find as many as you can.
Yeah, literally, just, you know, even if you don't want to get spoiled, just be sure to read them thoroughly, you know? Yeah, that's what we got. Data miners got it out of Update 2. They got lots of script bits and pieces and stuff like that. And we won't be talking about it, but it does sound cool. I subjected myself to it because I couldn't. Sorry. Yeah. And then, all right, we got more news if that's what we have to say about Update 3.
Yeah, because I think at this point it was like Nick and I were both just kind of like, I don't really want to.
You don't want to find out. I don't blame you for not wanting to find out. I don't blame anyone for not wanting to find out.
Yeah. So, like, especially, like, it's one thing if Sega themselves comes out with a trailer and be like, hey, here's what's going to be in Update 3.
Yeah, of course.
It's another thing with, like, leakers suck about, like, the kind of information from these things they let out there. And they will just give away, like, every story beat and, you know, all the really cool stuff that would have been really neat as a surprise, and knowing that it's coming serves no purpose other than to deflate the excitement.
I don't know.
I mean,
think when it comes
I'm
to this,
excited
it's like-
knowing what I know, if you get me. More excited than I was prior. But again, I won't be divulging any of these super exciting details because, again, that's, you know, we're not like a leaks channel, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
I told
no,
you
we
there'd
don't
be
wanna spoil
consequences.
anybody else's fun. I will say this though, like Sonic Team's not like my they're I don't trust them. I just don't trust them. It's like it's more like I want to check in on their homework, like make sure you're doing the assignment properly, more than
Fair.
like, oh gosh, I opened my Christmas presents early. Because I think a lot of us are worried, like, okay, but what exactly does it mean playable characters?
For
Because you guys haven't touched these guys in a million years. So
for me, it's like on the
I don't
off
know.
chance that they actually surprise me and do something really cool with this, I want to see that firsthand, not hear about it on a Twitter thread and then like just know what to expect going into the update.
I tell you what,
considering that it's like all free anyway, and we all own the game, it's just like, yeah, I'll wait. Just want it to come out.
in terms of like leaks and stuff, there is one leak that I'm glad I bloody knew before I played Sonic Frontiers. And that was when it leaked what the final 2 islands were. I'm glad I knew that ahead of time,
Oh,
because
yeah.
otherwise I would have been mortified.
Fair. But yeah, just for everybody in the chat, be respectful to the other fans. So if you've done some poking around, don't be spoiling stuff for people. So that's all there is to it. Just be careful if you're on Twitter yourself, and yeah. Otherwise, we can wait a couple months and we'll see what they've been cooking up.
Poking around and bragging about it, you know. Okay, well, yeah. So next up, Sega of Japan, I think. The CEO has been teasing remakes and remasters. So they did say this in. What do we got on that? Any kind of speculation you want to throw out there?
I think the obvious one is like everyone's expecting a remaster of Sonic Adventure 1 and or 2. If you're doing a remaster or a remake of any kind, that's one that they've specifically called out before. And so if there's one that's most likely to get that treatment, that'd probably be it. Now, personally, if I'm talking Sega remakes and remasters, Sonic is kind of low on my list of things I would like to see, but that's, me.
So,
No, I
sorry, go on.
agree. Yeah. No, you go ahead, Pup.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, I think the adventure games are the obvious one for the remake treatment. Like that's one I think everyone wants, Like, and I think doing like a double bundle of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 could be quite a big deal if they get it right and everything. And I think in terms of the remaster department, like if it's not a full on remake, can the fucker in the car outside my window stop tooting? If they're just doing remasters, I think the one people are asking for the most is Sonic Unleashed. And I noticed that, I think it was Katie Krasnonsky, or however you pronounce her name, she put out on Twitter a thing saying, like, what, Sonic game would you most like to see get a remaster? And the response was overwhelmingly Sonic Unleashed. So if Sega are listening, I think, that's one the fans really want. I've heard a lot of musings about like a Sonic Heroes remake as well. I think that one's quite ripe for the remake treatment. That would be quite a good one. Just as like a means of, fixing it up a bit, because I think that game has a lot of potential, but there's also a lot wrong with it as well. I mean, is that true? A lot of Sonic games during that time, but still, you could make a really cool game out of Sonic Heroes, and I'd like to see them, realize that potential. One I haven't seen anyone say, though, aside from myself, is I would like it if we could get a remake of Sonic Forces and do it properly this time. Get Ian Flynn writing the story and everything, and just, go over it again, revisit the Phantom Ruby saga, bring Infinite in, have Dr. Robotnik take over the world, and just do it well, because that was such a cool premise that was so squandered,
Probably not talking about that one since it's the last game before Frontiers. I can't imagine that's high on the priority list to go remake that game immediately. I mean, it's on current well, not even on PS5, but you can play it on current consoles.
It's playable. Yeah.
I think should Nick be turned up a bit? Oh gosh. I mean, am I really quiet?
You're quieter than Pup.
I'll turn you up a little on my end and see if that does anything. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I can hear you. I'm just thinking more, show side.
Well, fair enough. I don't know. I would assume the most obvious ones would be like for Unleashed, you don't really need to remake the game. Like it's already pretty. Just make it more widely available. Like they 4K'd it up. They made it run a little bit better on Xbox Series X. Just put that on modern consoles as it is. It's gonna do just fine. Like you really don't need to do anything with that.
I'd say you could do a few quality of life tweaks here and there, I guess. Like, fixing up the moon medallion quota. You could reduce that.
I think it's weird that Sonic fans have such a short-term memory that they want them to even fucking touch any of the games after Origins and after Colors.
Well, I was about to make a joke and say give it to Blind Squirrel, give them a nice tight deadline and we can watch them bash the game with a hammer and put a bloom filter over it.
I honestly think one of the best things Sega could do at this point is to find a good developer or find like a good team to work on one of these things. Say what they want and then go away and stay hands off.
The remake is
fuck off. Like
the remaster, is Frontiers. They've just fixed the pop-in. Big new release. Sonic Frontiers Ultimate, no pop-in.
It's like you can fix that with just like a visual effect. That's all you really need.
Well, yeah, like there's mods out there.
Tears of the Kingdom does that.
Yeah, there's mods out that fixed the pop-in, which literally just make the draw distance bigger. No idea why they couldn't do that for like PS5 and PC and all that, but they didn't. But like even then, let's say like the game is just that fucking crazy, as you gotta have a little pop-in, you gotta have a low draw distance, a fade effect or something, like.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Do like just little digital squares be like, oh, this is like warping into existence or whatever, And even then, it's like Switch is like the only console where I don't know. That's opening up a whole different discussion.
It's the
but-
really fucking funny thing about Frontiers, though, is it is, on one hand, it's the greatest fucking game ever made. Better than sliced bread. On the other hand, it's just the most basic game things that they haven't done. Like, switching up the fucking parameters for the pop-in, and also making a smooth IK on the surfaces so that Sonic doesn't turn himself into a pretzel trying to run up a different terrain. But, hey, you know, it's like, you know, some people that have never made a game before made, like, the best game ever. It's brilliant. I love it. I do love it. I really love it.
We know. As far as like Sonic remakes or stuff like that, I wouldn't remake Adventure 1 and 2. I think they're time capsules, and I think they worked for what they were trying to do of the day. I don't really think you could remake them without making them completely different video games. So at that point, why? I don't know. Like, if there's any quality of life improvements, I would probably not have overlapping dialogue in the cutscenes for Sonic Adventure 2. I'm getting tired of seeing people saying like that's kind of brilliant because it's like real life. Shut up! This is not real life. It looks terrible.
Yeah, in real life, we
Like-
don't talk over each other at all.
Well,
no, I'm
no,
joking. I agree with you. It's a bad thing.
I mean, I would do things like that. Maybe touch up the localization and stuff like that. But I kind of like the old.
yeah, no,
janky charm.
definitely. Overlapping dialogue real bad. Sorry. Sorry, I just had to get one more in there.
If I was going to remake any of them, I don't know if it's like a full-on remake. I think I would like an advance collection that just gives you proper widescreen.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
think widescreen for those games would make a world of difference. Maybe tweak how you get the Chaos Emeralds, because the original way you do it in the later games is absolutely ridiculous. But I would give the portables a little bit more love and attention, because we certainly don't get them. And like the Rush games, like I think with you wouldn't have the dual screen anymore, but I think like screens are big enough as it is that wouldn't really matter.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
You could still get enough
You could
stuff
kind of,
on
you
the
know,
screen.
change up the way the camera system works in that game, and it wouldn't ultimately be any different, you know, like...
Yeah, I don't think so. Like, I mean, you'd have to remove the touchscreen stuff for the special stages, but I mean, just that should be fine, honestly. Do you know what is actually, now we're talking about remakes and stuff like that. I am proud of like Sonic fan bases going in and fixing just the straight up worst games of the series. Like, obviously we have Project 06. Like, that's a game I would like to get a properly remake. Like, go rewrite history. Go make the worst games fun. And fans have put controller input in Sonic Freeriders, and apparently
Yes.
makes a world of difference.
Yes, they've taken the most fucking unplayable Sonic game ever and made it work. They've made the game functional. I'm yet to play the controller support version. It could still be quite a weak water experience for all I know, but like, I've played, you know, a bit of Sonic Freeriders on the Kinect, and the thing is the most unintuitive game like I've played I can think of, you know. Even with games like, you know, Sonic Jam on the game.com, you know, at least pressing right generally makes him go right for the most part, you know, whereas like, you know, the Kinect control was just not done well in Sonic Freeriders, you know.
I would just like more. I'd like more of that, and I'm noticing someone obviously is going to be brought up the storybook games. Bring in the Sonic games without traditional controls and put some traditional controls on the damn things. Like that, that makes games much better. Look at Galaxy. Look at Skyward Sword. It works. Do that.
Completely agree.
You know what drives me fucking crazy about? Because they put Galaxy on the Switch, and I was trying to play it with the Pro controller, and then this stupid little like star cursor thing is just floating all over the place because there's like gyro control mapped to it, and God, I fucking hated that.
I wish they'd just gotten rid of it. Like, you don't need to use it. You never need to actually use it.
I still have not played through all of Galaxy because it just kind of annoys me.
I gotta admit, like, the muscle memory, because like I've not played Galaxy since release, but like even playing the Switch version, like the muscle memory of that game is still in me. So I was like, oh, I can't just fling my left hand and make him spin. I have to press a button. I mean, it's better, but it's just weird. And like it was just, God, like the motion controls for that game are just so superficial. Absolutely hated it. But anyway, that's another conversation for another time.
What about, so what are some other, and I feel like some of the answers here are going to be kind of obvious. Best case scenario, you get to have like Sega's got a catalog of like a lot of different IPs and different games and everything like that. What are some things you would really like to see them bring back that are not related to Sonic?
We've already
If we're
gotten some of them back. I'll be honest, I'm kind of tired of Knights and Jet Set Radio being around. Like, if they're gonna come back, I want new games.
Jet Set
Um,
Radio, I'm like, yeah, because I say Jet Set Radio 1 is still like pretty available. I say
mhm.
just take like the HD version that's on Steam and just port that to consoles. I'm not entirely sure why that hasn't been done. That's very silly to me.
I think that
Uh,
was on like the 360 generation, wasn't it?
no, that was no. So I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. I guess that was on there. But that's kind of my thing is Jet Set Radio Future. Where the hell is that? Like that got
Yeah,
a
that's a
release
weird
on
one, dude.
that got
That's
a
a super
release
weird
on the
one.
original Xbox, and a lot of fans would argue it's an improvement off of the first in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And that one not being made available again is odd. And like you said, Knights is also very available. I'm playing it on the Saturn now, and I'm really enjoying it. What an adorable little game, but it's also is just like yeah, it's available. I want to see something that hasn't had a chance to be out there for a while. You know?
I want rare games to be less rare. That would be my first thing. I mean, if I had the money for it, like they're rare for a reason, right? Like they weren't making bang for them originally, but like a lot of Saturn era stuff. I want to see Panzer Dragoon Saga. I mean, obviously Panzer
Mm.
Dragoon 2. I want to get the remakes done for those two. And Skies of Arcadia, definitely.
Oh, I
And
was
Burning
trying to
Rangers,
resist the
yep.
urge to.
Like Kuzu. I want more people to see what, because every time people talk like Sonic on the Saturn, like, and it's even like old heads like me, they're like just real still butthurt. Like, this is what Sega promised us, and we got this shitty Sonic game instead of like a proper Sonic game. It's like, yeah, but like, look at what Sonic Team was doing at the time. They were doing some incredible stuff, like Knights, Burning Rangers, and stuff like that. Like, I want more people to see how Sonic Team evolved and understood 3D without Sonic before they went back to Sonic. I think that would be really cool to revisit that history.
Yeah, that and like yeah, I think Skies of Arcadia is the big one for me. Is the only two systems that thing was ever released on were commercial failures, and it was already kind of hitting a niche market.
Hmm.
So that game just really didn't have a chance like either time it was released out there, and that's one of my favorite RPGs. And I talk about that one a lot, and that one has no shortage of fans, so that's not exactly an obscure game, I wouldn't say. Not on the same level as some other like forgotten Sega franchises. But
It's just a matter of like understanding like how big your audience is going to be. Like, they're not. It's not going to be a multi-million-dollar like smash hit, but like the cult status of it alone will. Well, the gameplay is going to carry it.
yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that art direction still works just fine, even if it is dated at this point.
it would sell. It's just like it wouldn't. I was looking yesterday because I noticed apparently Sonic Sonic Racing Transformed actually had a couple of Skies of Arcadia inspired tracks, but Vice himself was a playable character in that, and I do not like that 3D model, and it got me wondering. It was just like the art style for Skies of Arcadia worked so well for working with the limitations of the Dreamcast, and I think
Yeah.
it's probably one of the most expressive games I've seen from that era. Like the way people's faces move and like just how alive they feel and everything. I'm not sure how that would translate to 3D, and I'm wondering what you would have to do to try to maintain that it on more modern hardware.
I don't know. There was just something charming about that. It was like that in Power Stone had like this charming, smooth, candy coated kind of look to everything. I really like how those games look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be
What
cool.
about you, Pup?
Uh, Virtual on Cyber Troopers.
That's actually a good call.
Hmm.
I think there's still like, I wonder if that stuff's still going on in arcades around
I've only
anywhere.
played it the once. I played it, that time at Portland with Cirrus. But
Yeah, and that was a fun time.
I had
Yeah.
great fun with that. That was one of those rare occasions where you get my Type 2 ADHD brain to just, sit down and be competitive without just doing random bullshit.
Well, that was
Like
like Sega's
Minecraft.
like strong suit, and I think that's what they translated best into Sonic is they knew arcade. Like they understood what makes arcade games fun. That quick, fast, that twitch, like and quick, gameplay loop stuff. Like I mean, all of that stuff's really good. House of the Dead, Crazy Taxi, Virtuon, like all of that's good because they understood arcades.
I want to
And
try
yeah,
Crazy
Virtuon are
Taxi
good,
myself.
great.
Crazy Taxi is fun as fuck, and it's one of the funniest games I've ever played just based off of its principles alone.
What is that then? What's
Oh,
like the
like
general thing you do in Crazy Taxi?
it's literally so it's very arcadey, like Nick was saying. But it is you're a taxi driver. You're plopped down in the middle of a city. You have a time limit, so you need to go pick up a passenger. And when you pick up a passenger, you are allotted a little bit more time, and you need to make it to their destination as quickly as possible. And whatever time is left over on the timer, they add to like your overall timer. But that and you also like get paid more money depending on how fast you are, and if you're like avoiding obstacles, but you're getting like near misses if you're doing like certain driving tricks and everything like that. And a lot of it is just learning how to drive really well, really fast, and just avoiding shit along the way. But the entire time, it's because you're like actively trying to get near misses with like other cars and stuff like that, and there's pedestrians everywhere. It's fucking funny because you're just constantly hearing people scream around you as you're just driving around like a madman trying to get somebody to Pizza Hut. Like that's the game.
Sounds like
It's
my kind of game.
it is so funny, dude. I love Crazy Taxi. Somebody
I
else
mean,
mentioned a Sega bass fishing. You know what? No lie, not even joking. Bring that back. Like with Joy-Con support, that was one of the first games I could think of that had like a good like a motion activated controller, that fishing rod for the Dreamcast.
and that's
It's,
part of that Dreamcast collection. Like that, the 360 era, they were bringing all that stuff to the arcade. Sonic Adventure 1, 2, Crazy Taxi, and Sega Bass Fishing. Like that was
mhm.
all part of that Dreamcast collection. So it's a little weird they just haven't like brought that over to future consoles. Um, I don't know. Oh, Seaman, yeah, Charles, yeah, you know what's up. That's a great one.
Did that ever get released on
Absolutely.
anything outside of the Dreamcast?
Not in the States. In PlayStation 2 for Japan, and it got a sequel in Japan as well.
Oh wow, okay. I think
Mhm.
I think you know what? I think you've made a video about that.
I talked about it briefly in a Christmas episode, I think.
Was it the Christmas Nights video?
No, those
No,
how
no.
Sega does Christmas. Um,
Right, okay.
so I talked about that. So
Seaman,
I'm
I
trying
wanna
to
get
think
my
who
hands
else. I
on,
think
but
Cybershell did like a really
Come on,
extensive look
man.
at that stuff.
Come on, you know what you're doing, Wayne. Come on.
oh, I know, that's the joke literally every YouTuber that's covered the game has always made.
Yeah,
You can see
But,
why.
I
yeah.
do want that game, it's just it's really expensive now, especially if you're trying to get, like, the entire collection there.
You know what? I'm gonna shout out Mr. Terry Chaos here. That is a great pull. This is the kind of stuff I would love to see. Propeller Arena. You guys know the story behind that one?
Oh, I can't say that I do.
So that was completed. It never was. Um, it was a yeah, like Terry's saying here, it was canceled due to the map set being in New York, considering that time of
Oh,
that.
no!
But
I
like that
remember
was
The
that.
also, I'm pretty sure it was the Propeller Arena team, unless it was a different aerial game. But I think that was the team. Like Yuji Naka walked in and like was starting speaking in Japan, like how he wanted to deconstruct the team or like steal some of their tech or use some of their tech for his own stuff or whatever, not
Hmm.
realizing that some of the team members understood Japanese and realized he was being an asshole.
Well, I
I'm
hate him because he's a criminal.
I'm looking up some stuff now, and this might be a basic comparison, but I'm thinking of Crimson Skies.
Crimson Sky. Oh,
I,
yeah. No, I think
I
you're
was like,
thinking. Okay. That's a
yeah,
great game though.
yeah, OG Xbox. That was like one of those. I think that was one of those first like Xbox Live, taking advantage of online
Yeah.
multiplayer and everything like that.
Sold like
Uh,
garbage. It's still worthless too.
oh yeah, yeah. No, I see copies come in all the time. I need to just pick one up already, and
You need
actually
to
sit down and play it.
you need to grab it. It's a really fun game. It's
Yeah.
super charming.
I'm totally down though. This propeller arena thing. It doesn't matter like what game concept. If it looks like a Dreamcast game, I'll like it more.
Yeah,
Uh, that's that Hi-Fi Rush game I need to download
I
because
could
now
play
there's a
that. Yeah,
skin. There's a skin for the main character that makes him look super low poly, and he looks very like Dreamcast PS1 era.
it's that cell shaded look. Yeah, super super sexy.
I
Webster
love
said
it.
it in here, and I have to. I see where he's coming from here, but he was saying that Power Stone and literally the game I was talking about, or we were talking about Skies Arcadia,
Mhm.
feels like an evolution of the Mega Man Legends games, their art style. I can kind of see that.
Yeah, Skies of Arcadia, I definitely see that comparison with like especially Mega Man Legends. Legends uh was doing some really great stuff with just expressiveness and like what you could actually do with those character models and stuff like that. And I respect that a lot. And again, Skies, I think for its time was almost unparalleled. It's surprising like how much you can tell from the cutscenes and like the emotion and everything. It's kind of like shoot, what was that? Vagrant Story for the PS1?
Mm-hmm.
That one also was like taking like the cinematic angle to a new level. I don't know if you've
Beautiful.
just
That
seen like
art,
the way those, huh?
the art style is beautiful. That I cannot comprehend the mechanics of that game or just the systems. I can't figure it out at all.
The cutscenes are the standout part. I've not played it myself, but it was like somebody was showing me like some of the cutscenes from that, and I was appalled. I was like, "This was on the fucking PlayStation. Like, how did they do this?"
It's so beautiful. Yeah. No, that I to this day I still remember the first time I saw that game. It was absolutely gorgeous. But
Um,
we're kind of getting into the weeds here and leaving poor pup out of the conversation here.
oh yeah,
So,
no, sorry, got a
Just
little
go, man,
excited
I'm
there.
happy to just kind of listen. You know, I'm quite tired today.
I think we all are. Like that's partially my fault though. If it's okay, just to go on another little quick tangent here.
Uh-huh.
I finally need to get it. I need to get a PS5. I finally need to get one. Absolutely need to get one.
Is it
Been
because
Because
of
it
playing
the
finally
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man?
happened.
huh?
I knew it was gonna happen.
It's
But they
because
announced a Spider-Man 2 themed PS5 with heavy Venom themes. So I need to get that.
heavy
I'm
Venom themes. It looks like it should say that on like the rating of the game.
Yeah.
Rated
I'm
M
kind
for
of
mature. Heavy Venom themes.
I'm kind of glad I got that like orange shell for my PS5 so that I don't have to worry about getting that because me from like a year ago definitely would have gone crazy trying to get it. I might still go after that controller. I'm really happy that they're selling them all separately.
I mean, yeah. So they are doing the plates and just the plates, right?
Yeah.
I might have
Yeah,
to
you can
cop
buy
the
the plates by
plates.
themselves.
But that said, part of me still wants to get those rounded plates, which take away that funny open collar look that the PS5 has. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, would I rather just get some custom plates, or would I rather get these? You know, like it's a tricky toss up. But you know, we'll see how they look on an actual PS5 model, and then I can kind of decide from there. But yeah, we also got. Sorry, go on.
I might be in the minority here. Is the design of the Spider-Man PS5 plates a little basic, or is that just me?
Yep.
It's quite basic.
I agree.
That's one
I
thing
agree.
I've kind of said a little about the branding, actually, when it comes to the Spider-Man PS5 games. Same applies to the covers as well. I kind of just wish they'd be a little more ambitious. You know, I get the whole thing. Red background, put Spider-Man on it. It's simple. It's effective. Spider-Man is enough to sell these games. So I admire kind of the confidence there. But I still just, once we got round to the second game, it's like, oh, now there's two Spider-Men on it, and it's a red background.
What disappoints me a little bit is that you've got like Peter's spider symbol on the side with like the symbiote and like the red and everything. The other side that's pure black, it's just the Peter spider symbol again, and I really would have liked having the Miles one there. I get
I
that maybe
agree.
they're trying. Yeah, it's like
Well,
maybe
the
they were
Venom
worried
one
it would
there.
be like implying that maybe are they trying to imply that Miles got the symbiote too, and I doubt that's what they're going for. But I just ever since like they were saying that they wanted to do like both Spider-Man in one game, I wanted both to be represented on like one console. I'm still sad we never got faceplates for the Miles Morales game.
I mean, check the backrooms chat a second, Wayne. I think that looks way better than the official thing. It's some
Oh
custom
my
plates.
god, that's gorgeous! Holy shit!
Yeah, they're custom plates from one of those sort of AliExpress kind of websites. You know, you can get some red LEDs for the PS5 as well. That'd look fire.
Yeah.
You know, I think that looks much nicer. Like, that's the thing, is in the Insomniac Spider-Man universe, I much prefer Miles' style to Peter's, generally. Like, and
Yeah, I agree.
I generally, like, I prefer Peter's costume, but, like, in the PS5 universe, it's that gaudy white spider and everything, and I don't hate it in the new one. I think, you know, they've made enough tweaks to that design to get me to like it now, but even then, it's like, Miles looks better. Miles better, if you ask me.
Well, he also plays better in his own game, but I'm hoping that they evolve the gameplay for Peter a little bit to kind of match how good Miles like feels to control.
And they really, though, because the only real difference is the Venom abilities.
Oh well, I'm even talking about the way he web swings and everything. Like, it was going back to the first game after playing Miles Morales, like web swinging felt so fucking stiff compared to the freestyle movement of like when I'm playing Miles Morales, I never stop doing tricks in the air. It feels too good to just be like zipping around in the sky like that.
Are we just kind of
awesome.
talking about the animation sets, though? Because you can still do that. It's just that Peter's got kind of just lame animations for his.
Oh, well, his animations suck, but they also like in terms of like actual the way it actually plays, those animations also don't feed into each other the way that Miles
That's
does.
true. Yeah, like it's quite clunky when you're doing like the corkscrew twist and then you do a backflip or something. Like, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, the Miles stuff is considerably more flowy.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
if you play those back to back, it's just like Miles feels like he's from a completely different generation. Like, which I guess is the point, but holy shit, it's hard to go back to another web swinging after playing Miles Morales.
It is quite funny how milquetoast Peter ends up kind of looking by comparison, and I'm not just talking about like web swing animations. But of course, there is that thing of like Peter Parker's still a young guy. Why wouldn't he try and spice it up a little bit web swinging wise? But like also just the fact that with Miles, we've got this new score that kind of takes his background into account and stuff like that. And, you know, it's got kind of a hip-hop vibe to it, and it sounds really good. Why is Peter just stiffed with orchestral? Like, why can't he have a style as well? Why can't he have, like, rock or something, you know? Like...
I know... Okay, so this recontextualized a little bit nowadays, but the PS1 game...
Yeah.
With the music composed by Thomas the Tellerico Engine.
Oh, you mean that guy that takes a lot of credit for stuff?
You know what? I firmly believe that he actually did the music for that one, because I think he's actually credited for it in the game itself.
Isn't he usually credited for it in the game? That's the problem.
Actually, no, a lot of it is, and this is getting into some territory I want to be careful with, but like, a lot of it is, he is said to have worked on some stuff and then not appeared in the credits of them for one reason or another, or his company is credited, but he himself is not. It's a whole thing. I just recommend watching H Bomber Guy's video on him, because it's an amazing deep dive. I'm sorry. My point was like, ever since I was a kid, that made me love rock as like you know, just bring in the heavy metal guitar and everything anytime Spider-Man's around. When that riff would start playing when your spider sense is going off and everything like that. Dude, that's awesome. Like, yeah, give that to Peter Parker's Spider-Man more frequently. It's so good.
Yeah, or even just jazz or something, you know, because he's New Yorkin, you know, like there's no if you're going to give Miles like a hip hop vibe to his music, there is no reason Peter should just have the Avengers theme but slightly remixed for his theme, and it's the exact same chords as the Avengers theme. Like everyone always argues with me about this, but the Spider-Man PS4 theme is the most mid thing I've ever heard in my entire life, and when I heard the Miles theme, I was like, holy shit, this is the same composer? Because Miles' soundtrack's badass. It's awesome.
I like the Peter theme, but it is pretty generic superhero fanfare. I did like hearing
generic fanfare for a generic looking fucking character. I've never seen a character like a white character get whitewashed, and they did that.
Are you talking about just the fucking
I
white
think,
sports stuff on his costume?
No, I'm talking about his horrible, stupid new face. It's still terrible.
Well,
think it
come
looks-
on,
I
man!
think it
You're not
looks better
seriously
in
still pressed.
2.
How can you say it looks bad in any
Because it
objective
looks bad, he's
basis?
dead-eyed and boring, and it's supposed to be the expressive original one.
I, I,
Fucking terrible.
I thought he looked like a fucking zombie in the original one. I thought his eyes looked like they were sinking into his skull.
I liked his big eyebrows.
I don't have many strong opinions on the face matter. I just find it funny when people try to argue any kind of objective bad quality to the new one when it's like,
I find it funny when people just argue, "Oh, you're still on about that?" Like that's a decent argument.
but what's the big deal?
Why'd they bother? The game has already been played by millions of people. Why did they go and do it then? Why confuse new potential customers? There's gonna be people coming in from the PS4 game going straight to the PS5 with a brand new face. And like I was looking at Harry and Peter in that new trailer. It's like these are just the most boring looking models I've ever seen.
That's funny because I genuinely thought the Harry one looked a bit like the previous Peter model. And
That's what
it made me wonder if that was
was.
maybe why they changed it, but I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna
Didn't they change Mary Jane too?
No, they didn't change Mary Jane. Her face
Nah,
model is the
her-
exact same. Her hair's just been let down.
Same actress, same
Oh.
face model. Yeah, her hair's been is just let down and it frames her face in a different way, and she looks great. She
I'm gonna
looks
play the game.
real
I
good.
care more about the mask than the face. It's just it was such a weird decision.
I
As
mean,
opposed
it's
to just making it
all-
look slightly better.
It's all
It's
well
a
and
very,
good.
very weird decision.
It's all well and good that I clown on people who don't like the face change, but I am still the guy that released like a 30-minute video on the difference between the Sam Raimi Spider-Man mask in No Way Home and the original trilogy, so I kind of don't have room to speak on it. I don't think the new face is bad at all. I looked at it and I thought,
even removing that, like preference aside, it's a very weird choice.
it's a weird choice. Yeah, I said the biggest crime about it is just the fact that they changed it in the first place. It's just such a weird move. But at the same time, I think he looks more like Peter Parker.
I was thinking in
don't.
the Spider-Man 2 trailer, to me, it looks like he's coming right out of the fucking comic book. It looks exactly like that, like he does. In
I
the comics.
disagree with you both full-heartedly. I don't know
I mean,
what Peter
you
Parker you guys
can.
are looking at.
You can disagree all you want, buddy.
I am, and I'm putting it out there on the
That's
table.
your
Like,
prerogative,
it's just,
bro. You're allowed.
It's weird.
You have permission.
It's so weird.
It's okay. I'm not calling the cops.
But like, all right, but like, does anybody actually believe the reasoning behind it though? Like genuinely.
He doesn't really look that much like Yuri Lowenthal, so no.
I suppose you could say the
don't like that.
facial
It looks more
structure
like
is
Yuri
I
closer,
also,
maybe.
I
but
also don't think he looks like Tom Holland, and I think people that were trying to make that argument are fucking high.
he looks
You're
nothing
fucking
like
high.
Tom
He
Holland.
definitely looks like Tom Holland. He absolutely looks like Tom
He
Holland.
looks nothing like Tom Holland.
He looks like generic Tom. What are you? Are you crazy? He's got the same
He
face
looks
shape and
nothing
everything.
like
Nick, you are right now. You are the person that would come into my comment section and tell me I look like Scott the Woz.
He has the same facial shape in the fact that his head has a skull inside it and is kind
This
of
look-
rounded shaped.
My comparison is like, you guys remember the old Men in Black cartoon?
No,
I'm so old.
we're not
So
all fucking ancient, Nick.
Like Ben Jack's like discount Tom Holland. It looks like it is distant enough away that it's like nobody can get sued. Like we don't have to pay Tom any royalties for this. But it's still like this is kind of what current MCU Spider-Man sort of looks like, as opposed to this other one looks closer to Andrew Garfield. And obviously, it's not the exact same face, but one looks like discount Andrew Garfield, the other looks like discount and Tom Holland.
I guess you
And I-
could make the argument it's not that far off from what they were doing with the Avengers game.
I mean, yeah, that's the other thing. They look weird. They look super weird. I hate that.
Genuinely looks nothing alike.
That looks like Tom Holland.
It
What are you
doesn't
talking
look
about?
even remotely like Tom Holland.
They are both white and have brown hair.
They are. That is true. That is
They have
true.
the same facial structure.
Do they though?
Put up a picture
In the
of
way
Tom
that,
Holland.
in the way that they have cheeks and eyebrows and stuff. Yeah, they got the same facial structure, all right? They got a mouth on there too. Even a nose. They might be related.
I don't care what you say, pup. You say I sound like some fucking what's that guy's called? I don't even know what he's called.
I don't. Okay, I'm
That was
sorry.
good.
I put a picture of Tom Holland, and what's really funny to me is that it doesn't look anything like either of this particular picture doesn't look anything like any of the Spider-Man models we've gotten so far. He looks like fucking Dennis Reynolds in this picture. I gotta
Can you
send you this.
like Wayne? Can you only recognize people by like hairstyles? Is that the problem here?
Well, no.
I'm with Wayne. I'm with Wayne on this.
And no, my
I mean, the
thing.
hair looks like Dennis Reynolds.
No, I'm even thinking like it's like the way his cheekbones are like going in a little bit, like it's in this shot right. Let me see if I can pull this up.
Oh wait,
real
hold
quick.
on. I don't think he looks like Dennis Reynolds. Okay, I just googled him. I don't agree with that.
It's
I don't see
it's
that.
Not he looks like Dennis.
I don't know.
Reynolds.
I kind of I see what Wayne's talking about here. Like the dead on face right there, kind of looks like Dennis with that
It
hair.
looks like young Dennis Reynolds.
Oh, you were talking about Tom. Okay, yeah, he does kind of look like Dennis Reynolds there.
It's really
I
funny.
saw. I don't know where it was, but like his actor, Dennis Reynolds' actor.
Yeah.
Name's escaping me right now. I'm very tired. But him and the guy who plays Mac, like obviously they're friends, and they would just like shit talk each other on social media. And one of the times we're just gonna call him Dennis. I'm sorry, he's just eating a salad while he's just talking shit, and like the top comment was like, "Leave it to Dennis Reynolds to make eating a salad look unhealthy."
I just want Spider-Man to be like he's in his shed getting all of his gear and he's like, "Tools! I need my tools!"
Wayne, look at this picture of Tom Holland.
That looks like Tom Holland.
He looks
dude.
nothing like Tom Holland.
He does.
He does
Like, he doesn't
not look
ex-
even
one- one like Tom
remotely.
Holland. He's got the same round face.
What do you
He's
mean
got, like, a
round
tiny little
face?
eye
Like,
But
nose.
faces are round generally. Like,
No, dude. Compare that to the other one. Come on.
what? John Bubniak, the original Peter.
Yeah.
Hang on.
sorry, buddy, I don't see it.
Yeah.
The face around the cheeks is just shaped in a completely different way.
If anything, I think John Bubniak looks more like Tom Holland.
You're insane.
A little
man.
bit,
I don't
only
know
by a
what to
little,
tell
only
you.
by a little. The hairline is a little closer, I'd say.
He's very expressive. He has very expressive eyes, that original model. I miss that. Like those eyebrows did a lot of work. I thought that fit the wit way better than this dead-eyed new guy. I think the new model is fine enough, but he just doesn't look like he can. He doesn't look like he expresses like Spider-Man does. The voice doesn't match at all. I don't like it.
Nah.
Oh, there we go. I'm with Austin Hat. Probably next topic. We're not getting anywhere with this.
Well, I think we should talk about that story trailer if we're gonna talk about stupid trivial detail only a fucking loser would
No,
care
I'm bored
about.
of Spider.
Nah,
I'm
we're gonna
fucking
talk about the trailer a little bit.
Actually, if we want to talk about analyzing stupid trivial details, maybe we should move on to our next Sonic topic.
Hold on, before I want to talk a little bit about the story trailer. Like we're kind of there now, you know.
I'm bored. I'm bored.
So
I
Venom, right?
He looks cool.
looks cool.
If they make him playable, don't make him suck like he did in Ultimate
Oh, for
Spider-Man.
fuck's sake! Fine. Next topic.
I'm just at this point. I don't need to see any more of the game. Like I'm excited enough. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna have fun.
That's the dude. I shit you not. I think the trailer for the goddamn faceplates for the PS5 spoiled how he's gonna get off the symbiote. Don't watch it. I think
Wait,
it gave the
you're
whole
talking about the
thing
same,
away.
like the Be Stronger Together. Like they had that in the first trailer.
I mean, I didn't even.
Yeah, I didn't think that far into it though. I don't know. I don't want to say too
You
much.
literally
I mean,
talked about
I
it
didn't
on
even
this
know Peter
show.
would get rid of the symbiote. I thought, you know, this was a permanent
Oh.
fixture now, you know?
Dustin's in the chat. He's just in the other room. Glenn Howerton, thank you, Dustin. No, but like, I mean, we talked about in the very first time they showed anything, it was like Be Stronger Together. Oh, double means with Miles and the symbiote. Shows the symbiote go to and then it shows electricity. Like, come on. Like, the Venom blast is going to take out Venom.
Yeah, but I don't
Gonna
know.
blast
I
Venom
must
with the
have
Venom
like
blast.
I think that left my brain, and I think they straight up like I don't want to say too much about it, just in case there was anybody as oblivious as me, about it. But yeah, the fucking faceplates trailer I think used dialogue from the goddamn cutscene in which that will happen.
I didn't see the trailer. I didn't know there was a whole trailer for the.
I haven't even
It's
looked at that.
It was like a 20-second, like just a little like spot thing where they were just showing off the faceplates, but they were just using dialogue from the game, and yeah, everybody in the comments was just like, did you guys just like why would you do it that way?
Actually, can we talk
Certified.
about
Who would have guessed Venom would be removed by his iconic weakness?
Oh god.
can we
I
talk
did like
about
a-
sorry, go on. Go on.
What?
Go on.
I was just gonna say I liked the in the trailer you do see the lizard's roar affecting the symbiote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be
I-
awesome.
I think this is going to be everything I actually legitimately liked from the Spider-Man 3 game, but done better.
Yeah, done in a way so that I don't fucking spend 40 minutes fighting the fucking Craven boss fight, only get shut down into a bat full of lizards without fucking seconds notice, bombarded by them with only a fraction of health left from fucking fighting the Craven fight, and then have to go back to do the fucking Craven fight again.
I keep being tempted to go back to that game, but I'm
No.
hoping this one just fills that void and just like makes it not necessary. You know the one thing I miss
Web of
from
Shadows instead.
I do like Web of Shadows.
I
a
like
lot.
Web of Shadows, but it's
That game
not.
feels like an apology for Spider-Man 3.
The thing with Spider-Man 3 is that it's so sprawling and has so much variety to it, you know? Like that's the thing I like about it, is it's the one Spider-Man game that feels truly sandboxy.
Because you're going down into the fucking, like, subway systems and everything. Like, everything feels so big. That's what I miss from that game.
There's a sense of scale to it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What games are you guys playing? Variety?
Yeah, Spider-Man
things
3, the
to
game
do?
has variety in terms of, like, you know, you can go defuse some bombs, or you can go help DeWolf and track some cars and stuff, or you can
Well, I'm talking more
beat up women
variety.
with the arsenic candy.
I'm talking more variety in its structure. Like, I like when like a city space like that. Spider-Man 2 and 3 were good about, hey, here's this big open space, but here's some interior areas inside of that. And in a way, I think that actually adds to the sense of scale. It's one of the reasons I thought Tears of the Kingdom was a big improvement off of Breath of the Wild, being able to go into caves and you have more indoor areas and everything. Nothing is going to make an open world feel more open than giving me a ceiling every once in a while.
Also, there's no fucking camera in Web of Shadows. You can't get a camera out and snap. Like, in Web of Shadows, can you go to a fucking fashion show, shoot pictures of the models, and then beat them up? No, you fucking can't. That's the best bit of that game.
My absolute favorite thing from Spider-Man 3, the game, was the size of the city. Those buildings feel titanic.
They're huge.
And just, they're enormous. They're daunting, and I liked that.
The thing is,
I
like,
agree.
there's so much
on
that I...
front?
Sorry.
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
Nick. Go ahead.
Well, no, like I don't know. It's been many years since I made the Spider-Man 3 video. I remember like the scale of the big brother console version was really cool, but like the smaller game was just had a bit more to do and played better. And then I remembered Spider-Man 2 just a better game overall. But I don't remember there being like a lot to do. It was just like the map, like I don't know, for as big as that map was, they didn't give you a whole lot to actually do in that game.
The thing that has me saying that the little brother version on the PS2 and stuff is the better game is just the difficulty balancing. It's one of those things where Spider-Man 3, the game, could be amazing. It could be like one of the biggest Spider-Man games out there, and just in a truly non-linear open world fashion, it could be so awesome, but the difficulty balancing is so piss poor that it, like, I'm sorry, but the fucking Raven the Hunter boss fight, the Lizard Part 3, is the worst fucking mission in any video game ever made that I've played.
It's really bad.
It's so
really,
bad.
Really
The fact
Well,
that
I ranted like a lunatic in my I still remember
The
just
fact
how
that-
enraged I was with that.
if you die on the second Lizard boss fight,
You
You're
die
sent-
in real life.
you might as fucking well, because after I got fucking sent back to before the Craven fight, I want to fucking kill myself. Fuck.
Let's maybe stop those jokes on a live podcast.
It's not a joke. All
Oh
right.
my God.
We need
Okay,
to quit hanging
okay,
out.
okay. Yeah, no, I the pacing was in the fucking boss fights in Spider-Man 3 is bad. We should get together. We should do like Spider-Man game book club sometime and just talk about some of these individually sometime.
won't.
I need
I'm gonna
to.
make a video.
I'm going to be doing a
funny-
retrospective on Spider-Man games once I'm done with the shows.
I've already made videos about a lot of these. Although I will say, I do think I want to revisit Ultimate Spider-Man and give it another shot. But I did not enjoy my time playing that fucking game. But maybe on a revisit, I'll see something in it I didn't see before.
I think everyone's got the same idea in terms of, like, if you're a content creator, if you've not covered Spider-Man yet, like there's going to be lead up stuff to that. I've been desperate to talk about the movie games a little bit more. Like, I want to do every version of Spider-Man 2 because they've become such wild additions for
You
that.
know what I kind of want to hear is which game do you guys think is the worst one between Spider-Man 3 the game, the HD console version, or the Amazing Spider-Man 2, the main console Beanox game?
I think 3 by a country miles way worse.
A lot of
Way worse.
people would say Amazing 2, but personally I would say the thing that makes it most tragic is 3 has the potential to be way better. But 3's worse simply on the basis that, again, difficulty balancing is just fucking unfair. While Amazing Spider-Man 2 is a very bland game, and it's very just a bit pathetic how cheapo it feels.
Inoffensive.
I think I enjoyed Amazing Spider-Man 2 less, and I didn't think that adding the dual trigger web swinging added anything to the experience, and I hated that every time that you stop a crime, it interrupts you with a stupid newscast cutscene.
That was terrible.
Well, I didn't like the fight crime or die system either. Like,
yeah,
so
it's
if you
like the
don't
fight
take part in the
crime-
missions, you get harassed by drones and shit. It's like, what the hell kind of government is this?
At least in Spider-Man 3, I could just swing around and like have fun without the game telling me that I was not doing what it wanted me to.
The thing with Amazing 2, though, is the main meat of it is just more fair in terms of difficulty. Like, that's the thing with 2, I could just bang it out in one session and have a tepid time, you know? Whereas with 3, you can't fucking make me go back and do the Kraven fight
That
again.
actively
It kills the
put me in
game.
a bad mood. 3
Yeah.
put me in an actual bad mood.
It was
That
one of
game
those things
sucks.
where I got to Lizard Part 3 the first time I played that, and it caused me to put down the game for like 5 years, and I picked it up again this year, got to Lizard Part 3, and I actually beat Kraven, only to fall down into the fucking thing of lizards and die immediately and be sent back to before the Kraven boss, and I will not do it again. I refuse. Whatever comes after that can't be worth it. It's fucking terrible.
All the boss
gonna
fights are really bad in that game. They're
I'm
really,
gonna
really
say
bad.
it right now just because I saw a fucking comment about it. I bitch about Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm not even gonna give a single, like, part of my soul into trying to defend friend or foe. Fuck that
Absolutely.
game.
I was gonna say,
I
Ike
think
Dave,
that's
I'm
just a
sorry.
very basic good time.
Dude, it's everything I fucking
boring.
hated about Ultimate Alliance, but with
Yeah.
Spider-Man characters.
I agree.
That game
I'm
had
with you 100%. As
yeah.
much as I hate Spider-Man 3, I will web swing in that any day before I pick up Friend or 4. At least I won't be bored.
I mean,
Hey, yeah,
if I'm just
Friend
web
or
swinging
Foe
around
was-
the map, then maybe I've got a reason to play Spider-Man 3, but any Spider-Man game other than Spider-Man 3, I can safely offer it the defense of, at least it doesn't have Lizard Part 3.
I guess so, but like
I-
I'm with Dustin here, where he's like, Spider-Man, there's a lot that aren't great, but like for a lot of those games, you just swing around the map and not give a fuck.
The thing is,
And
though,
I'm with you there.
I want to engage with it. I really want to actually engage with it because there's stuff there that's intriguing me, and it's locked behind this fucking Lizard Part 3. And
There's stupid shit, yeah.
it's not that I
but-
can't get past it anymore, it's that I won't get past it. I'm not gonna try it. That game has made me very upset.
I get that. I'm not defending the missions.
Any
of that game, but
game.
I'm with a lot of these folks. Like, look, if I have a choice between swinging around New York City in Spider-Man 3 versus playing any of Friend or Foe, I'm going with Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, friend or foe is I made this comparison again to the Ultimate Alliance games. Friend or foe is the monotony and basic ass simplicity of a Lego game, but if you tried to make it a beat 'em up.
I thought it was just okay.
It's just a
Shattered-
beat 'em up.
Shattered Dimensions was a good fucking Spider-Man beat 'em up. Friend or Foe is tapping 2 buttons throughout the entire game. And it sucks, and it's boring, and none of the levels are interesting, and I hated every fucking minute of it. The only good thing about it was that I remember being a kid and being excited because you unlock Prowler as like one of your first buddies early on, and when I was a kid, nobody knew who the Prowler was, and so I thought it was neat that he showed up at all. But the that's it. That is, I think that was the Hobie Brown version of Prowler 2. That's the only thing that game had going for it. Everything else fucking sucked.
I need to
Bad
stress,
game.
just like I always do, like this stuff is designed with multiplayer in mind. So if you're having fun with your friends playing those games, I completely understand. I
You know what was
usually
a
don't
big
like
fucking
doing that though.
That was a big fucking letdown. That was guilty of absolutely everything you've thrown at friend or foe. Batman: Rise of Sinzu. God damn. What a drop off from Batman.
I've never
Vengeance.
played that one.
Dude,
You played
Batman
Dark
Vengeance. I haven't played that one, no, but I've heard
Oh,
terrible
buddy.
things about Dark. I want to see
Oh,
it.
buddy.
I'm intrigued by it. But for me, I think one of my first experiences with disappointment, aside from Spyro 4 Enter the Dragonfly, was Batman: Rise of Sinzu. Because Batman Vengeance is like Arkham before Arkham. You know, like
It's weird. Like I remember when that game was coming out, and like there was a lot of buzz around it, and then it came out, and everyone just stopped talking about it immediately,
Oh, what, Vengeance?
which is really weird.
I didn't know people talked about video games back then.
They sure did.
It was the first
They
video
sure-
game that was bought for me. That was my first for me video game was Batman Vengeance.
I've not. I remember like I loved the tone, but I never beat it. But yeah, I really
Dude,
wanna,
the story is so good in it as well. Like
I believe it.
it's
Yeah, I
it's a
wanna
really
get
good
that.
like sort of detective mystery, but like the game's so good. You got all the gadgets, you got fucking detective-y shit going on, you got fucking the vehicles and stuff as well. And then you go to Batman Rise of Sinzu, which is same continuity, same universe, and it is just a button bashing fucking unsatisfying stupid ass game. Like I'm okay with brawlers. You know, I like the werehog and all, but provided that the combat is fun and satisfying, and Batman Rise of Sinzu, half the time the freaking thugs are just blocking your attacks, and there's no special strategy to get them to unblock. You just kind of grind them down, and it's so repetitive. Once you play one level, that's the entire game played effectively. But Sinzu was a cool villain, like considering he was made for the game, so I'll give it that.
Yeah. Well, we're rambling a lot about superhero games. What I was getting on with the PS5, like why I had to get one way back here. I don't know if anybody else in this room has actually played any of it yet. I finally been playing Final Fantasy 16 thanks to my buddy Dustin being up here. Like drove from California just with his PS5 just so I could play some Final Fantasy 16. That game kicks ass.
It's so good. Ah,
It
God,
is
I want
so
to
good,
play
dude.
more of it.
Dustin's such a
Have
cool
you played
guy.
any of it? How far have you gotten?
I've unlocked the second skill set, and I think I'm like a mission or two past that. And then there was like the one big twist that I knew because I was paying attention to the beginning of the game.
I mean, like
that
all of
I
it's like clearly telegraphed, but like it's so much fun there to get to like, yeah, we're here.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
I don't know. I was a little annoyed by I get annoyed when I'm waiting for the main character to catch up with me, on what's frankly kind of obvious information.
Mhm.
But I will say they dropped a twist after that that I thought was awesome, and I did not see coming. So I was I'm liking it a lot. I just had my hands full, so I haven't really had time to mess with it much.
I will say this because it sounds like you're not as far like the really obvious stuff, but like when they do reveal some of that stuff, they do it in the most Final Fantasy way possible, and I love it. I'm having
Yeah.
such a great damn like I'm not gonna be able to finish the game while he's up here, but I was like, I need to play this game some more. So like that's why I need to get PS5. Like it's man, it is so much fun. It is so much fun. And I know
It's
it's
a
more
really
Kingdom
good
Hearts
action
than
game.
traditional Final Fantasy anymore, but like this feels like where the series was gonna get to eventually. As
Yeah.
hard as they led into like a cinematic sort of flavor, especially since like 6 and 7. Like this feels I don't know. I know it's like it's all action based and everything, but it feels as Final Fantasy as it ever has to me, except with good localization, which is incredible.
Yeah, it's interesting because that one Japanese players were actually recommended to listen to the English dialogue because that's what all the lip syncing was matched up to, not the Japanese dub, which is fucking wild to me for
It is.
Japanese developed game.
I think that script kind of plays into it too. The script is I mean, I don't know, you're used to some sort of jarring business when it comes to localized games, but
Mhm.
like it's witty, it's well written, it's well acted.
Well, that's
So,
like they've been stepping it up because like Square Enix has been responsible for a lot of like what I've disliked about anime-esque dialogue in a lot of
mhm,
games.
yeah,
And
same here.
I remember playing 7 Remake and thinking, "Oh shit, this is a big step up." Like
Oh yeah,
these
definitely.
these yeah. But that was where like the Final Fantasy characters started talking like actual people
There's still a lot
and
Yeah, that was
there's a
quite a
lot of that
problem
that's not
in
going
the older
anywhere.
ones for
But
definite. But like, I think they definitely improved it in this newest one.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna hear it. Let's listen to you two talk about Spider-Man for a million years and talk a
What
little
am I
bit
doing? I'm trying to help. God.
Ride the shoe bump.
At least I'm agreeing with you. You know, would I rather just argue?
It's I'll tell you this, pup. If you enjoyed the supersonic fights, play Final Fantasy 16. It is a stupid fun time.
My roommate Dom's been playing it quite a bit recently, and he mentioned the supersonic boss fights.
It was oh dude, holy shit, the boss fights in 16 are
Insane.
fucking wild.
Can you play 16 without playing the others?
Oh yeah, so Final Fantasy games don't really feed into each other that much. Every game is its own universe. It's doing its own thing. They have their own
Yeah, its
stories,
own
own
story.
characters, and everything.
They really
They-
don't mean it when they call it a Final Fantasy. Then
No,
We've
not
made
at all.
this joke before.
Yeah.
yeah, you'll hear it
We've been
again.
here 30 years.
To
We
be
know.
fair, so has everybody. Everybody's made that joke. That's one of those Mario 2 was Doki Doki Panic kind of things.
Late to the club, pop. Play the game.
Did you know that you can mod a 3DS super easily?
Just about anybody can do it. Yeah, 16 is super good. I highly recommend it, pup. I will say it was really funny because I think it's the first mainline Final Fantasy. It might be the first Final Fantasy that got an M rating.
It is,
And
yeah. It's
I-
got blood
I-
and cuss words. I'm really
I
proud of them.
forgot it, and a lot of surprising amount of nudity. And
Well, not full on, not full.
no, not
frontal,
full
but
on,
yeah.
not full on, but it was still like, you could tell like they were trying to I don't know. I forgot about the M rating, and so I'm watching the opening, and people's heads are fucking exploding, and like blood's going everywhere, and people are saying "fuck" all the time, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't
Dustin
expecting
was
that.
saying that they flat out said like it was inspired by Game of Thrones, and you can clearly tell.
Oh, yeah, you know what? That makes perfect sense.
Oh, by the way, before we do get to the main meat topic, can we talk about?
Right.
Huh?
I said, oh right, like we're talking.
Oh no,
about
I was
that.
gonna ask. Can we talk briefly about the Invincible game trailer, because that is the funniest damn thing I've seen in my entire life.
The what trailer?
The Invincible video game.
So you know the Invincible, the animated series on Amazon Prime based off that
Yeah,
one.
no,
Which
I
I
know
haven't
Chernobyl.
even watched. I haven't seen it, but I watched
Oh,
this trailer.
please watch it.
I've
Holy shit.
been told I will get round to it, but
Yeah.
I haven't even seen the show. But this trailer was hilarious to me.
It looks gorgeous at first, and everything is animated so well, and the amount of work that they put into getting these assets put together to perfectly capture the style of the Amazon Prime series, but put it in 3D was wonderful, and it was really well done.
But it's a cinematic trailer.
It's a cinematic trailer.
Wait for it, right? They don't show
And then-
gameplay. It's
Until,
the
like,
end
the
of
last
the
5
trailer.
seconds.
You've got the title card, and just off to the side is a mobile phone with an idle combat thing.
It's like
and-
some kind of turn-based strategy bullshit. And I'm just like, yeah!
Nobody knew this at the time. People were thinking it was going to be like a proper video game. It's an idle mobile game, and literally just over it is the YouTube cards advertising the next video, like they're trying their best to hide it. It is the gameplay apologizes its way into existence, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's the most work I've ever seen, but it looked like it was going to be like a full scale, like almost like open world like city kind of game with the invincible characters and everything. And again, it's just like it's so wild to me because the amount of work that had to go into putting those assets together and like getting those models made and like the how expressive they are, it captures the look perfectly.
The only thing they could do to make it funnier is put the Curb Your Enthusiasm music over the gameplay.
They might as well have. How fucking embarrassing!
Like,
Jesus Christ!
The phone comes. It's like, sorry, won't do it again.
Sorry. We're sorry.
Oh,
good stretch.
so
sorry.
stupid. Yeah, no, Pup, Invincible's great. You would love it.
Sure,
That's
I hear it's got J.K. Simmons in it, so like that's cool.
It does.
But also, like the animation looks nice. I've heard great things, so I will definitely check it out at some point. I've been saying it for years, but I got to stop procrastinating and just get watching.
It's a quick watch.
Okay.
Real
All
quick
right.
watch.
You'll have a more fulfilling time than watching The Flash. I'll promise you that.
Well, right now I'm watching the Spider-Man Tokusatsu, and
Fair.
loving it. It's fantastic. So yeah, so shall we go to main meat topic?
I'll be real with you. I know you say main meat topic. I really don't think we're going to be on this very long.
It doesn't matter. It's the main topic of the episode.
All right, go
Yeah,
off, King.
yeah.
Fucking hell, Nick. So, the Sonic Superstars opening cutscene was dropped onto.
Oh, that's Superstars. I was trying to remember the fucking subtitle of that game all morning. Continue.
It's been put onto like social media and stuff, shown off now, basically, which is unique because they don't usually drop the entire opening cutscene like this early. But hey ho.
Weird.
And yeah, it's another one of these darling little 2D hand-drawn animated thingies that they've been kind of making into a tradition for I guess the modern classic Sonic titles, which I think is actually a really nice thing to have. Is just like, for every one of these retro Sonic games, we get a nice little accompanying animation. If they want to make that a staple of this new brand, I am completely cool with it. And it showcases a little music from the duo of T. Lopes and Jun Sonoye. So, yeah, we get a little tease at what the music is going to sound like. So, yeah, how do we feel about that little opening cutscene?
Fine.
Fine, and it's cute, and it's yep, serves its purpose. It's I thought it was charming. I thought it worked well, and then I saw
Mosasaurus.
and then I saw the way
fans of
people
Jurassic World
were being about it.
So yeah, there has been a little bit of backlash on this one from social media. It's one of those things where I'm willing to look at it in a fairly even-handed, nuanced way. I think there is a way to kind of frame criticism, and I think it's something that a lot of people kind of struggle with. And I've seen people say like, "Oh, the animators couldn't even be bothered with the smear frames and stuff like that." It's like, okay, I don't think it was that they couldn't be bothered. I think it's that this was probably produced on a limited time compared to, say, the Origins intro. Like, on one hand, I can kind of get some of the criticisms, because I would go so far as to say that this isn't as good as the animations that were made for Sonic Mania and Sonic Origins. And it's not even so much the choppiness of the animation this time, because it is a little more choppy than what we had before. For me, what kind of does it is it's very ambitious with the camera movements and angles and stuff. There's a lot of, like, the camera swings around, shows Eggman, Fang, and Trip, I think. And it swings back around to Sonic, and I think with 2D animation, it's a difficult thing to pull off. And I think it kind of struggles here. But that's all I really have to kind of say about it that's negative. I think it's one of those things where the animation of, like, Sonic Origins and Sonic Mania is some of the most pristine hand-drawn animation that I've, seen in the modern age, I guess. I haven't really watched a lot of, like, TV cartoons and stuff lately, but, like, I mean, what do you guys think? Would you say like the powerhouse animations and stuff from Origins and Mania are like pretty high tier animation?
Yeah.
I think they're all fine. I think there's a clear difference between all of them. I took it more as a stylistic choice, especially after learning that this was a different studio. What I thought was funny after the wave of backlash, like we had Tyson Hess like go on social media, is like, "Oh hey, wasn't me. Like, don't want to take anybody's credit." I took that as like a very polite way of saying, "Don't blame me for it." I mean, it's
I
not me. Here's what I actually wanted to posit because I, I mean, Wayne, you were already exhausted by the shit. I was exhausted by it too. I didn't want to engage at this. I don't care. Like I understand it looks different, but it looked like a style choice to me. And now that I learned about like what studios make it, or at least as a studio in Japan, I wanted to posit an idea. If it's a potentially problematic idea, but I'm gonna throw it out there anyway. Um, ever since Mania dropped, I've been wondering, like, why isn't that team on the next thing? I've talked about that plenty of times on this show. And the more we learn about the behind the scenes, like there was something they were going on trying to work on with Christian Whitehead that dropped. They put Stealth and Powerhouse on Origins, and I'm sure there was enough time to get Powerhouse on this if they wanted. But it looks like every single aspect of Superstars was made in Japan. And I've heard more than a couple rumors that Sega of Japan is still as let's say proud. We'll use that instead of xenophobic or something
I was
like
gonna
that.
say tight gripped, but yeah, fair enough.
Um, and every time I look at Superstars and I hear a little bit more about it, it feels like Sega. This is all headcanon, if you will. Like maybe they're a little bit like, well, we could do it too. Like we can do Sonic. They don't deserve all the praise. And I know
Yeah.
Arzest is not Sonic Team proper, but it does still have Naoto on it, and it I don't know, man. Like the more I look at it, it's like, look, if I had the choice between giving a project to Evening Star or the guys who made Hey Pikmin and Wonder World, I'd probably give it to Evening Star. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this potentially Sega of Japan and Sonic Team still being like, we still know what's best and we're gonna keep it closer to home territory because we're tired of
I
the fans and the Americans getting all the praise?
so I wouldn't doubt that. My thing is like Sega has known in the past how to like find the right studio to do certain things. I just look at the opening for Sonic City, the Toei, like bringing them in to work on that animation. Holy shit! Um, it might be them trying to play things close to the vest. I don't know. It's my thing. My entire thing was like, and I think I said this in our group chat. I was where I was like, I don't even care if the people picking this thing apart are right. This makes me fucking tired. Is the first words on there was I started picking this apart frame by frame, and then my brain just kind of shut off, and I was just like, this is what being a fan of something is now. This is what
Yeah.
this
That's
is
the
what
thing is
this
oftentimes
is.
these things are not made to be picked apart frame by frame, and it's
Yeah.
one of those things where I am seeing a lot of mentions of animation errors, and they are there. Like there's a few shots where Sonic has two left hands and stuff like that. And yeah, that it's not immune to criticism. At the same time, though, in a
No
lot
one
of
else had animation errors. Fucking The Lion King.
Well,
One of
yeah,
the greatest
everything.
masterpieces of animation.
Almost every animation you'll find out there has animation errors. That like it's a commonplace thing when these things are being churned out at a much higher rate. And I think maybe part of the reason why Origins and Mania and stuff like that were so pristine was that maybe it wasn't like, oh, maybe it was just like, we're doing this just for Mania. Okay, we'll do one more for Origins. But it's like, now that these are going to be a tradition, we're going to keep releasing classic Sonic games, and we're going to keep, having these animated intros. It's like, okay, we got to kind of pull in the belt a little bit and allow a little bit of wiggle room now. My biggest critique of this is simply that I just think the camera movements don't do the animation any justice. And that's more of a directing problem than it is an animation problem. But even then, I would say the quality.
And that's one. Sorry.
That's okay. I would say the quality of what's come before is not something that I take for granted by any stretch. I would still say that just because I think what we had before was of a higher standard, that doesn't make this here bad. You know, I think this here is still really nice. Like, if they announced a Sonic TV series that looked just like this opening cutscene, it would be one of the best looking animated shows on TV right now, I would say.
I can't think of a single cutscene from Frontiers or Forces that I enjoyed looking at as much as I liked looking at this intro.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we've had bigger downgrades as well. I mean, fuck me. Look at, like, the Sonic Unleashed opening cutscene, and then pretty much every opening cutscene after that, unless you count the FMV for colors. But
yeah, I was gonna say the same thing as Wayne too. I'm not keeping track of individual fans. Like, they could be the same fans picking apart all the same stuff, but it's just like, you guys are picking this shit apart and like just also singing the praise of a janky ass game like Frontiers. Like, just I'm fucking tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm so fucking tired of it.
I'm tired of. Yeah, I don't know. I'm exhausted by the constant like. Now I'm gonna admit, like, a lot of this is me coming from the bias of also being an animator, and so that you know, my word on that is obviously going to come from a place of you know, I'm going to be taking it a little more personal than I need to, but I have a tendency to just kind of automatically side with other animators, and I'm just like, we don't know what was going on behind the scenes. We don't know what kind of time frame they were given to work on this. I think it looks fine. It's not on the same level of quality as the other ones, but I also don't give a shit anymore. I'm tired of trying to treat everything that comes out of this franchise like it's the end all be all, or the, you know, the greatest thing or the worst thing in the world, and trying to treat every little thing like it matters. You know, I don't know. Fuck
I
it.
want to pause just another quick obvious thing here. It's possible that Sega just doesn't want to give Powerhouse the money they would deserve to continue working on this stuff.
I get the
Yeah.
feeling
Maybe some of
Powerhouse
the
are probably
cheaper
working
team.
on something else for YouTube, maybe. You know, maybe like a continuation of like the Sonic Mania adventures or something. Like, that is the thing, is it's one studio and they're probably doing other things as well, so I don't rule out that we'll see Powerhouse again. I just think, you know, maybe for this one they... it's hard to say. I think there is kind of credence with what you kind of said about it feeling like Sega of Japan are kind of reining the belt in a little bit and saying, okay, this is going to be a Japanese-made production. We've kind of had, you know, Sonic Mania was very Western in terms of its development, so we're going to, you know, pull the belt in a little. But then T. Lopes is working on this still, you know? Like, and
Could be
okay,
within
that's...
the budget. It could be that simple. It really could be as simple as overseas animation's just cheaper. Really
Yeah,
could be.
there's all kinds of different things it could be, but like I also think I kind of believe it when Oshima says like Takeshi Iizuka basically approached me for a project and it kind of went from there. And it was kind of like, yeah, okay, we've got this team together, we got this vision, so why not make it the next one in the classic Sonic catalog effectively, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I do get I'm ultimately where I get tired. Like, I understand people like, you know, analyzing and criticizing stuff like, but I am still seeing the comments like, yeah, but it's bad, or it's wonky or stuff. I'm like, I'm tired. I thought it looked fine. Clearly different. Absolutely.
I think there
Yeah.
can be a lot of bandwagoning as well, to be honest. Like,
It always is.
one person points out a couple of animation errors and said it's bad, and then suddenly the tide turns. I notice this a lot, is it takes one person to suddenly change the horizon of... And to be honest, I don't want to invalidate everyone criticizing this, because it's fair, like, there is a bit of a downgrade in terms of quality here, but I still don't think...
Yeah, talk about what you want to talk about. Yeah, just, you know,
that's
some of us
that's
are
what
tired.
that's why I preface it with like, they're right. I just don't care.
That
Right,
Knuckles
yeah.
prologue was like some of the most beautiful fucking animation ever.
That was great, but I also have no idea. They teased that so early on. That thing was long in development, and they were trying to promote like one of the biggest games that in this franchise that come out in a long while.
I mean, visually, I prefer this art style as well to, say, the Sonic Colors Rise of the Wisps shorts, which I still thought were very pretty and stuff, but I just prefer this art style we got here.
Yeah, and
Good thing
it's
to
not
bring up,
that
though.
everybody.
Like, are people like, nobody talked about the Rise of the Wisp? Like, I just saw it as it's just a different art style, and I appreciate them doing different things. That's what I loved from Sonic as a kid. Like, it doesn't have to be the exact same thing every time. And yeah, some is going to be cheaper made, some is not going to be as smoothly animated, but it just looks like anime to me, I guess. Like, that's what I saw from this cutscene. It reminded me a lot of like current animation styles in, you know, in anime. So
Yeah,
I thought it
and
was fine.
if you know anything about like the anime industry, it's these people are never given the time or budget that they need to work on
Mm-mm.
these projects on the scale that they're asked to. So it's I don't know. My thing is again, it's not fair to say that everybody that dislikes it is just following a trend or that they're invalid for thinking one way or
Oh
the
yeah,
other.
no,
That's
I don't doubt it,
it.
but like
It's
gotta
not
be
fair, and it's not the takeaway that I want. But I think being realistic is there's one thing about like getting on here every week and like talking Sonic and stuff like that. And you know, it's we got to make a topic out of everything. I can't be bothered at this stage of my life to give this much of a shit about an opening animation for a game that was announced a couple of months ago and will be out in another 2. Like it's do you know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
no, I
I'm just
understand.
Yeah.
Like I think it can get tiring how like Sonic fans and I mean I'm sure I'm guilty of this too. I feel like Sonic fans have a tendency to hold Sonic to very weird standards. Like sometimes it's like, okay, they got it so that he jumps when you press the jump button. That's a fucking good step in the right direction, Sega. Thank you. But then it's like we get an animation out and suddenly it's like, but I expected, you know, the ultimate Studio Ghibli fucking experience out of this, you know. Like, it's it's very bizarre to me how, like, in some areas Sonic is beholden to no standard whatsoever, just as long as, you know, Sega can tie their shoelaces in the morning, we're fine. Yet in other areas, it's gotta be the seventh seal. Like, I said this about, like, Sonic Prime as well, like, people's issues with Sonic's characterization in that show. I just said, Sonic is not nearly thoroughly scribed enough of a character for us to be this hell-bent on maintaining that whole, he's a static character, he is all good, he influences people around him. Like, he is not that scribed of a character that we can't deviate from that a little from time to time. And I think it's, you know, it's so weird, the standards that Sonic gets held to. It's bizarre. In some regards, higher than any others. In others, it's kid gloves. And I don't know, you know? Like,
my thing
it gets
is
tiring, you know?
If the thing was released and shown off and you know, within the day, like within a couple of hours, there's a thread of I pulled this and I started analyzing every frame of it. I'm not going to take it seriously. I'm sorry, I can't.
I think it's better to open up with these things stood out to me when I watched it than I
Yeah.
paused on every frame. When you say I paused on every frame, it immediately kind of tells me you're not watching it the way it was intended to be watched. Because, again, like you say,
Fucking
The
obsessive
Lion King.
behavior.
The Lion King has, you know, animation errors and stuff like that because the film is not designed to be viewed frame by frame. There are certain allowances, as long as we're not, like, you know, in 1960s Spider-Man territory where they're getting the fucking costume colors wrong. You know, cut it a little slack, you know? Like,
Yeah.
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 What's
I
this
don't
T-Lope
know.
ramp I keep hearing about? Rants.
okay, so T-Lopes basically kind of came out with quite a long spiel on Twitter about people kind of being very critical of the Sonic Superstars trailer. Kind of said, you know, viewing it frame by frame, and it's like, okay, you can complain about things or you can kind of create things and stuff. And he was visibly very upset, and it's something that he's kind of dialed back on. He said, you know, I feel like that was too blanket of a statement. Like, obviously nothing's immune to criticism. I don't want to suppress that. I was kind of having a bad day as it was, and, like, I obviously have a lot of love for fellow artists, a lot of profound respect for fellow artists and stuff like that, so it stands to reason that sometimes, you know, you can have quite an emotional initial reaction, but it's something where he pulled it back a bit, and I guess that's fair. I think, you know, initially, yeah, it was quite blanket statement-y. At the same time, I could fully understand it, you know, like, Yeah, it's hard to
I think the
fucking call
creators
it.
themselves, I've noticing this on social media too. I think there's Sonic creators themselves, like everyone's just kind of hitting a limit here
Yeah.
with the hyperfixation. Like these are creators, they love to create. We all love Sonic. Not everybody wants to be obsessed with Sonic all the fucking time. And I will tell you right now, even if I did want to get this show together, do like weekly Sonic stuff, but like yeah, I get sick and tired of it too. I'm always thankful for the job, and I'm always thankful to be a part of the community. Like I mean, Wayne, we've talked about that before. It sounds like you're probably at your peak exhaustion right now too. But like it just sounds like some of the creators here are just like, bro, we love this stuff, we love making this stuff, but we're fucking tired.
It's
It's
like
it's
It's
that
never
feeling
enough,
of
you know?
like it doesn't matter if you do something that's just okay. People will never take it for something that's okay. If it's not perfect and if it's not, if it's not of the highest quality, then the effort was wasted,
even
is how a lot of
then,
people act like it.
like I
That and that's my thing. That's my exhaustion. And I don't blame T Lopes in the slightest, and I almost feel like he shouldn't have apologized.
I don't blame
I
him, but I think
completely
his
understand.
apology was the right thing because it allowed for a more new.
No, I
Yeah,
think his apology was there to save face and calm down brats who are gonna cry about it.
Well, I think I get the feeling that a lot of creators that are involved in are tired of kind of the mentality of it's like 3 frames had problems out of a fucking 6,000 frame trailer. This is unacceptable. And then it's like, okay, guys, it's an error. Calm the fuck down. Everything has them. And then it's that fucking picture of Sonic chowing down on a bowl of meat. The most
yeah.
fucking pretentious thing ever made.
And my thing is, I don't even know if I would feel this way about this whole situation if it wasn't Sonic.
Oh, but Wayne, you're settling for mediocrity.
I don't care.
I know, no,
like
I'm,
anymore.
I'm taking
I
the piss.
no. I get you. I get you. I'm just like a part of this, and that is to kind of just to kind of to be fair here is this is more of like my personal reaction to some people might not even know about that thread that was like literally just like, hey, immediately day of just this small animation, and yes, certified studying animation frame by frame is kind of standard practice, but you usually do that with, you know, high level productions, not this. And when that was the first thing that I saw in response, I was just like, this is the Sonic fandom.
You
This is where we
like
are
the
as
It's
a existence.
exhausting from our
mediocrity,
perspective,
Wayne?
right? It
And
can be exhausting from our perspective because like we do look at this like this big just hive mind thing when that's not usually the case. So a lot of the times it's like, what's the prevailing opinion that's overwhelming this circle I'm stuck in sometimes, and it just like it feels like it goes all over the place in terms of like where are your priorities, and it's extremely draining. It's not entirely fair because everyone's individual and they have their own individual opinions, but like that's where I kind of what Wayne was talking about earlier, where I was getting exhausted. Like it's just this cute little opening cutscene. It's not that big of a deal. I'm more concerned about how this game plays, and then
yeah.
like looking back at like all my concerns with Frontiers and how I feel like while it's fun, it's still a janky ass game. And like in the mediocrity thing, like my priority when I hear mediocrity is like people going to going to the front lines for games that are just fine at best. For a lot of the games, which are like whatever, who cares? So it's hard to be like being in that circle and then watching that just jump around all the fucking time. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I get drained. I think it's mostly just because like this is the only Sonic thing to talk about, right? So there's going to be a lot of more people that are deeply analyzing it when it was just supposed to be a cute little fun thing for us to chew on.
and and I did want to say it's just like, because again I do keep seeing this come back where it's just like, are you trying to invalidate, like trying to say this looks bad? No, I'm not. And I mean, like, I mean this in a nice way, but please don't put words in my mouth. I'm not meaning it that
Yeah,
way.
people listen
This
to
is a
this. But
this is
go away.
a personal exhaustion from covering this particular franchise and dealing with a lot of the noise. A lot of it doesn't matter sometimes how well intentioned the criticisms are. You've seen this fan base. You know a lot of it is not well intended. And when a lot of that is given ammunition, it becomes very loud. And if you're feeling defensive about having an opinion about it, think about how it feels being in that production and then just having all of that targeted at your work when you're literally just trying to do your day by day. Again, we're critics. We criticize games all the time. It would be hypocritical to say, "Hey, don't look at this from a critical lens or anything like that."
Right.
That's not the point. I'm just saying I'm tired. I'm just like it's such a I don't know, man. It's just it was just something I thought was cute, and it's just like literally the only thing I've been hearing about it is everything that's wrong with it, and I'm just like, that's okay, man. You guys are free to criticize it. Y'all call it bad or anything. Nothing I say is going to make you right or wrong. But
Yeah.
in a sea of voices, sometimes you start to feel like you're drowning.
I'm gonna tune it out. I'm looking forward to Sonic Superstars. That's gonna be fucking amazing. That opening cutscene is really fucking cool. And I'm looking forward to Update 3. That's gonna be fucking awesome. And I'm looking forward to the Knuckles show. And Sonic 3. And Prime exists.
Yeah.
There you go.
So that ought to be mildly entertaining.
I'm hoping the game is fun.
I feel like a lot of stuff's just gonna be mildly entertaining, though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm still gonna have my.
It's gonna be like, it's gonna come here. I'm gonna be like, yeah, that was all right. That was a fun time, and then I'm gonna carry on with my day. Like, it'll be done in 2 hours.
And I'm still gonna have my criticisms about the game. I still think it's insane that they're trying to market it off of multiplayer and it's only gonna be local.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I'm fascinated though, because they've always done it badly. So I'm fascinated to see if they pull it off here.
I think,
because if anything, like local feels like where it would be messier, and that's one of those things where it's like I want to get my hands on it before I dig too deep into that. But
I think in that interview that I showed you guys where it had the fucking typo in the but kind of funny we say the animation errors don't really matter too much, but then we're talking about a typo. But I think they mentioned that in this
was so good.
in this in this thing they said with the multiplayer, the screen basically zooms out, and I want to know, how far does it zoom out? How far ahead of the other player can I get? That's what I'm intrigued about.
I'm really, really curious about that.
I thought the Lego games, I brought them up earlier to bash them, but now it's just like they did find a good solution for the multiplayer like that, where it used to be you had to share one screen, and I think it was like, I want to say it was the Lego Marvel Superheroes, the first one, where they started introducing, it was either that or one of the later Lego Star Wars games, where they started introducing that once you start splitting off, it starts moving into a split screen sort of thing, and I'm curious as to why they wouldn't just, I don't know, man.
I'm curious
maybe for
as
a
to why they wouldn't just add fucking online multiplayer.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like online multiplayer is just kind of where it feels like the gameplay would just work better for co-op.
There's apparently
so everyone has their own screen.
There's apparently a battle mode that's online, so I'm intrigued to see what that is. But I get the feeling that's just effectively a glorified scoreboard, right? But
is it just the
Wait,
Sonic?
Did you read out the typo?
Oh, the typo. Oh, hang on.
I don't know if it's like a straight typo or just a grammatical error.
It was.
I don't
I don't fucking. It was just. It was wrong.
It's funny as hell.
Let me find it. See, this is the real shit to worry about. Is fucking typos in the interviews. Now that's the real stuff. Oh god, I'm scrolling through the chat. A lot of Flash movie screenshots in here. I think I'm gonna vomit. That movie's ass.
So Dustin and I were at Target yesterday.
I bet he loved it. He loved it, didn't he?
Oh, he had a good time with it.
I'm glad
he didn't say it was amazing. He had a good time with it.
Tell Dustin I want to be just like him when I grow up.
That's fair. But we found a Flash toy, and he hit the button, and he says, "I got the need." There's a pause. He's like, and then it goes, "Just go fast."
Oh wait, no, I found. That's funny, but it's not as funny as what I just fucking found.
Let's read it.
The typo. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. It's really funny.
Read it out. Read it out for the audio folks.
No, you got it. You got it. I will. I definitely will. Why now includes 4-player couch co-op?
Funny.
Brother.
I noticed
Oh.
that too with like there was the birthday email that I got from Nintendo. Is apparently there was a typo in there.
Hey.
Where it was, and it's just funny. I don't know if they're just cranking out too much stuff nowadays. Yeah, it was sorry, but this offer in not yet available in your region.
That was so
And
funny.
some
You
people
guys
had
have had a
pointed
I
it
also
couple
out.
of
just
tweets
love
that
that though.
just kind
Happy
of popped
birthday.
off.
This offer is not available in your region.
Yeah.
That was funny. From what I heard, it was just like a like some platinum points or something. It wasn't anything terribly special. I thought
It's
honestly like
I
how
expect
funny
nothing
that
and I'm
email was
still
better.
disappointed.
it's still the Nintendo thing though. It was the most Nintendo thing. You both have had like tweets that
Yeah.
have just gone kind of crazy recently.
I
And
had
they're
another
really
one
funny.
yesterday. I swear to God.
Yeah.
It's always about me having negative takes, and I don't like that. I don't want that to be what takes off all
That's
the
the
time.
internet, buddy.
I hate it.
You might as well start, talking about how woke movies are these days.
No.
There is one more Sonic thing we gotta talk about.
Oh yeah, Amy's playable. Yeah, we know. God, hate injection of politics in my video games.
Well, how about injection of babies?
What? What?
There's been a thing that I've been shared multiple times by my normie friends, the people that live regular lives that have nothing to do with this blue rat. I'm suddenly getting links to this little video about pregnant Sonic.
Oh yes, I sent that to the group chat as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fucking funny though.
And it goes hard, dude. The
I
song
didn't
goes
expect
hard.
it to take that turn.
Oh my god. It was just like straight up pop punk early 2000s screamo early like pregnant Sonic.
Kind of Blink 182 vibe.
I'm not the stepdad. I'm the dad that stepped up.
I love that stepdad as well. His voice is just hilarious. Like,
So
listen,
good,
son, there's nothing wrong with pregnant Sonic. Not even remotely like
let's
it,
rap
but-
a bit. There's something exciting. There's a sexual nature to it. It's just like you're bringing in life. Like, there's no shame in that.
Oh my God.
Oh my god. That's the kind of stuff. Like, you have to understand, like, we whine about animation, or we're excited for like a literal video game, a Sonic video game. But the one thing that gets out there to the rest of the wider world
Is
is
that we're
going to be
perverts?
pregnant Sonic.
With a bunch of dirty perverts, you know?
No, like saying like that's what people think of the Sonic fan base. Like they don't give a shit about the movies or the games or cartoons or any of that stuff. It's like, oh, what's going on with Sonic? Oh, pregnancy. All right.
And you're like, Sonic, don't you get dirty pervert?
I still think one of my favorite interactions I ever saw was the one meme of like Vector pouring a baptismal Crystal Pepsi over a chow, and somebody commented, "Why is it always Sonic? Why is it always this franchise? What does it do to people?"
Oh, why is the cleaning truck outside my window? Can you guys hear that? Why does it have to be this way?
Oh, I can't hear it. There's a
For the best.
Benjack has a good point here, and I did forget about that. So Comic-Con's going on right now. And I've been excited because they've been dropping a bunch of like Ninja Turtle toys and stuff like that. But Jack Specific is having a panel today, and they might be announcing new stuff.
Also, I got some more news in regards to the figures.
Yeah,
I got an Infinite.
I'm actually jealous of you. You got that before that's showing up in my
They
target.
had it in stock. When I went to pick it up, the guy said that Infinite, or as he pronounced it, Infinite, had been very popular and was selling fast, what with like Sonic Forces and everything. And then he went on to tell me, I'm personally more of a classics guy, so I made sure to pick up Mighty the Armadillo and Ray. And I was like, well, dude, that's awesome. It's cool that you actually like Sonic 2.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
I like that.
Seemed like a nice
I'd
dude.
love to get an Infinite. Hey, I have a quick, fun, dumb theory that I just spat at you. It wouldn't make any sense, but I just would love
Why'd
it.
you do that?
So Sonic Prime, right? When we see Shadow kind of, get Rainbow Prism in that first episode of season
Does this mean
2.
he's gay?
Well, no, like I'm sure it just means like Pirate Shadow or any of this other stuff. I would love if that was like the way we got Mephiles. Like that was just like a darker part of him that was split off. and that would explain why he's no longer as moody as he was before, because it's all in this version of the character. I don't know. I just want Mephiles back. I want that design back. I don't need the backstory. I want that design somewhere.
I want it back, but not in Prime. I mean, maybe that would be the thing to make Prime better. I don't know, but like the amount of times I've said, "Oh, maybe that'll be the thing to make Prime better," and then it didn't get better.
I mean, yeah, all right. There's a lot of stuff where whatever with Prime. The one thing
Mid-show.
everyone seems to praise is Shadow.
Yeah, Shadow, great. It's so embedded in what the show is, what I don't like about it. That's the Sonic Prime cast, it's not Sonic Tails and shit, it's Sonic 9 and fucking Pirate Knuckles and shit, and I don't care, just move on to the next one. I wouldn't mind betting that once Season 3 is out and they cancel it, you'll get another Sonic show that will actually be what we wanted out of Sonic Prime from the same team.
I'm sure it's going to be like a separate show, but I imagine they'll keep the same voice cast.
Yeah,
it just
that made me happy.
I have not done any like real proper research in the behind the scenes stuff. I don't know if they've released any sort of numbers on like how it's doing or anything like that. But we're not getting a lot of conversation about if they're going to continue the show or not after this point. We just know about that 24 episode run. So at the very least, we'll get the show wrapping up.
And there's no word as to whether or not they're actually working on more right now. So unless they closed out that 24 episode run on a cliffhanger expecting another renewal, yeah, we should be getting a resolution.
They need to wrap this story up. Like ain't nobody wanting that to continue on.
It's already feeling pretty stretched out as it is, so
everything
I'm excited to see how things after because I watched it that first time really tired, all in one go. But revisiting it for the video and editing and everything like that, I was like, I do kind of want to see where the story with 9 goes. And there's some decent storytelling visually at the very least with what they're doing with his themes and stuff like that. So I do at least want to see it wrapped up.
The 9 twist reminds me a lot of the Rapunzel last minute. That was kind of cool in the end, so maybe it'll be cool here. I don't know.
Is that Tangled?
Yeah, the Tangled series. Yeah.
I've never watched it. I didn't think much of the Tangled movie. I did hear that show was really good though.
Yeah,
heard that too.
I would say that it's it's the best possible follow up. I would say, but it's got a good plot and it's got good villains, and yeah.
Yeah, all right. I would say that I would try to put it on my list, but
it's got filler episodes, but it's got filler episodes, but outside of that, there's some really cool stuff going on in that show. So I mean, if you like the sort of Disney movie stuff, it's perfectly on par with the Rapunzel movie, or maybe dare say a little better. And the music and the songs and stuff, I don't know, I get the feeling you guys probably don't like the songs, but they're easily up to the standard of the kind of stuff you'd get in the movies. So yeah, if you're into Disney princesses, the Rapunzel series will be a hit.
There you go.
I remember Tangled being all right. That was more
Gentlemen.
memorable than Frozen. So
we ready for super chats?
yeah, I think so.
All right.
I didn't hate Frozen. I don't get the hype.
Oh, I don't hate Frozen either. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I don't get why that's the one that
it's-
people fixated on and not Moana or Tangled.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It got popular.
I thought
and
the second
there's nothing
Frozen was
wrong
good.
with that. I never saw it. I just didn't really care.
I
There's
got
a
bored and
sense-
stopped watching it.
There's a sense that everything's matured up a little bit, which I appreciate about it.
It was funny. I remember there was some behind the scenes stuff where there was an implication that the actors, while they were reciting their lines, didn't even know what the full script was because it kept changing mid production, and so there was one actress that was just yeah, I would have done that take a little differently if I'd known what was actually going on in the movie.
That's Disney for you. I mean,
Yeah.
similar thing was going on with No Way Home as well, where they were saying they didn't even know how the movie ended while they were filming it. It was constantly made up as they went along.
Yeah.
Which doesn't surprise me, as the writing in that film is not exactly airtight, but I do enjoy it. So, okay, shall I start us off then?
Sure.
Fan funding tab? Alrighty. Okay. Elytrix sends $2. Venom PS5 finally shown. Time to finally buy one. Yeah,
I agree.
that was a bloody discussion, wasn't it? This has been roller coaster of an episode in terms of topics.
Well, I mean, there wasn't. Let's be real. Like, I mean, unless you want me and Wayne being just not super into the
I'm not
animation
complaining.
thing
Uh,
the whole time.
I'm not
I
objecting.
think it's good
I'm
to have
fine with this.
healthy variety. I think that's been.
I'm happy
making
with
this
this.
shit
You know, like, yeah,
hell.
badass
It's been a
Alfred.
roller coaster. Not here, sir, with $4.99. Thank you. Speaking of animation, have any of you seen the movie Nimona? It's extremely charming. Recommend it to any animation fan. Both Wayne and I have seen it.
I think I enjoyed it more than you, Nick. I did really love it though, and I thought it hit on some things that were kind of obvious on the surface, but I thought that they delved into what it's like to try to be accepted by people and what it's like when people are acting like they're accepting you, but they're not really. I don't know. I liked it a lot. I want to watch it again.
I thought the themes felt a little blatant and they were kind of lost when it deals with an actual superpowered shapeshifter that can turn into a kaiju. That's just me.
I don't know. Maybe if we ever do like a deeper discussion about that, I can kind of share why it worked for me. I suppose,
Sure.
but yeah, no, I loved it. I was pleased.
I didn't watch
I
the movie
thought it
because
was
it had
cute.
girl in it.
No,
What?
he said he didn't watch the movie because it had Goral in it.
Well, I mean, it's a trans allegory movie.
I didn't
Yeah.
watch the movie because it had trans allegory in it. I don't
Oh
know.
my God.
Is this woke?
I saw a
Yeah,
butterfly
cute. I
today
don't
with
know.
more than a few colors on its wings. I think it is woke agenda.
It's very cute, and I think it's going to resonate with a lot of younger kids and stuff like that that need to hear some of the messages it's trying to convey.
I will
Um,
probably check.
It's not specifically for me. It's not going to hit quite as hard, and I'm a tired old man, so some of the over energized wit grew a little taxing, but it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
Get a load of
I
the
think
type 1 ADHD fella over here. God, what a loser, am I right?
I do think they should have saved that level of energy for just Nimona. When some of the other characters started acting that exaggerated, I was just like, let's reel it back a little bit. It works for her, but not for everybody.
I don't think it's offensive to ask why she's got superpowers. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. For fuck's sake. It's ridiculous.
We got to
Anyway.
do spoiler cast at some point, and we got to do Spider-Verse too, because otherwise it's literally
We really
everything
gotta do
but
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah, we gotta do Spider.
That's the one
Yeah.
thing people that watch. That's the one thing all 4 people that watch the spoiler cast want.
Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be
also we got C Man. Is that Australian dollars?
Probably.
It's money. Is what it is.
Yeah, with a $14.99. You've done it. You've did it now, Nicholas. I feel
man.
insulted by and now I'm looking for you to live up to your name and apologize. Can you guys believe the nerve of this dang game apologist? What did you do?
I probably would have
Probably did
asked Simona
something.
why she's got superpowers.
This would have been way before that. You probably did something, man. Either way, you should apologize.
I don't know. I'm an ignorant old man from another time. I'm sure I've done a lot of terrible things this episode.
Let's just
Did you
get
call
the
your,
list of your shortcomings out, and you can apologize for them one by one.
Oh my
Did,
god.
did you call your symbiote a parasite?
Apologize,
Apologize.
Eddie.
Oh
Sorry.
Eggs, Eddie.
I still need to watch Carnage. I have the 4K for it. I
Eat
just haven't
those
set that up
guys.
yet.
I can't. Sonny and Cher are best friends. The chickens are the fucking best part of that movie. Whoever had the decision of putting chickens in the movie deserves a raise. Alright, so I'm up, I presume, with
Yeah.
our pal Jamal, with $5. Happy B Theory weekend, guys. Milk Bro Forever, Wallace, Turtle Power. Hell yeah, Jamal ain't kidding.
Thanks, Jamal. We appreciate it, dude. Boat NB with $2. Thank you. Finally, Sonic Adventure DX Ultimate Deluxe Edition.
I can't wait for the Game of Year edition with the free classic Sonic NFT.
I can't wait for them to break the game even further. All right.
That
Crane, Wayne, you're up with Crimson Rise.
okay, gotcha. Crimson Rose with $2. Have you heard the song "Crushing 30s"?
I
I
have.
think I gave it a passing listen when they dropped it.
I have, and it was cute.
There you go. All right.
No.
Pop, I think.
Yes. Okay, so BD Chinoa with $2 Canadian. God, that does sound a lot nicer, doesn't it? BD Chinoa sounds much nicer than B Dickanoa. I hate my Blue Yeti. What should I replace it with? Gave me Focusrite Scarlet 2i2. I can recommend that. I like this mic.
Yeah,
There
I've
you go.
got a let's see, I've got what do I got? I got a microphone. Yeah, it's an AT 2020. It's a USB version. That was recommended to me by a couple of other creator friends, and it's been working for me so far. So,
That's the key, is it has to be a gift from a content creator friend.
well, it wasn't a gift; it was recommended. I had to buy it.
It was a gift. Mine was a gift from Gilly. Nick, who got you yours?
Me. I got it because it's green, and we still don't know if that's the microphone or one of the wires that makes the horrible staticky noises. I gotta get that figured out.
I've got a green cable that was given to me by Nick, so technically this is kind of a collaboration.
There you go.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Nick!
All right. So we got Emu the fox. I'm going to assume that's a mew. That's how you say that. But thank you. $5. Thank you. And in unrelated topics, I rewatched one of Nick's videos. Thank you. And thanks to all the RPG town name ideas as they're on their way to Diverse City.
I get it.
Beautiful. Thank you.
The Hydro thing.
Oh, man.
Hydoro
alright.
Shitty.
Let's see. We got Josiah Roviosa, Roverosa, with $9.99. Nick, where are you at when it comes to One Piece? How far are you in the series, and what do you think of it? Also, if the rest of the cast have seen it, then what are their thoughts? I'm loving it. Nick, have you ever once watched One Piece?
I watched a lot of it before I ever met any of you guys.
That is really surprising to me. What the fuck?
Why? It's colorful and it's got
Is
a
it-
unique art style. It's a fun adventure. Like, yeah, I love One Piece. I
Because
love
I
One
didn't know
Piece.
you were cool. I guess I don't fucking know.
But here's the thing. I'm very, very far behind on it. So I used to work at a night out job at a hotel many, many years ago. And to kind of pass the time, I would just put on One Piece, and there was a shit ton of them. But I only lasted up until the amount of episodes that was on Hulu. So I think it was right around the time jump, and that's kind of where I dropped off. And I've always been meaning to jump back into it. It's just hard to do that when you know there's still no end in sight. So I don't know. That's not a show I don't know if I'm ever going to keep up with it week by week. I might. I mean, it did with Dragon Ball Super when that came back out. So if I ever get the chance to catch back up, I'll probably start doing it week by week. But I do still have a fond memories of One Piece, and I do want to get back into it eventually.
I also like One Piece. I like the part where Monkey D. Luffy sails with his crew of Straw Hat pirates through the Grand Line to find the treasure One Piece and become the new king of the pirates.
Did you just
Did,
look up?
did you call him? Did you just call him Luffy?
Okay, what have I done wrong this time?
His name's Luffy.
But why is it not fucking spelt that way then?
And is
I'm
that
gonna
just
give it
a
to
plot
Pup.
synopsis off of Google?
Yeah, it's
I'm
from
gonna
Netflix.
I'm gonna give it to Pup though. Like Luffy. That's how I would say it if I didn't hear Luffy. It looks like Luffy to me. Just like
Yeah.
Titus and Titus in Final Fantasy.
Titus.
Titus sounds better.
Titus.
Titus, so stupid, so dumb, so stupid.
Do you know that there was like a spin-off book that was technically like the third part of the Final Fantasy X story?
I did not.
Yeah, and there's like a like some kind of like weird version of Tidus that comes back, and he he sees there's like a landmine on the beach for some reason, and he kicks it thinking it's
One of the
one
balls.
of those
Yeah.
those balls, and fucking explodes, and then like she gets like fucking more PTSD than she had before, just seeing his like severed head just in the sand. That happened.
Yeah, I remember
Is
that.
that real?
Yeah, that's real.
One of
That's
the
real.
one of the funniest
The
moments,
main
dude.
protagonist of Final Fantasy X kicks a mine and gets decapitated?
It
That's
was
the
like
end of his
it was like
story?
not really him. It was like a figment of him, like kind of brought
Sure.
back. I guess because like was like I don't know. It
Yeah.
was fucking explodes, kicking a
I'm
landmine.
gonna check that out. That's amazing. I
Yeah.
was talking about this with Dustin yesterday. I really like Final Fantasy X. I didn't know there was so much pushback against that game.
I think a lot of it was just okay. So you know how everybody like swears up and down that Navi is like the worst companion character that's ever existed, and then you replay Ocarina of Time and she's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's people with the cutscenes in Final Fantasy X. They look at that one cutscene with the awkward laugh, and
The
they're
one
like,
where he's
"Oh,
clearly being weird about a laugh. Like that's the
Ye-
point of the scene.
that's what I mean." Here's the funny thing: I haven't played Final Fantasy X.
Hello?
I know that that's the point of that scene is he's forcing himself to laugh, and it's
Is
supposed to
Wayne
sound
Dillon
weird
gone
and
robotic?
awkward. Am I sounding robotic?
Or is it me?
Nah, you sound
Uh-oh.
fine on my end.
No.
Um,
Oh God!
I
Oh
think.
God! Nick's dead.
Oh,
Is he back?
that would be why Nick thought you sounded robotic.
Is he back? Do we have Nick again?
Yeah, sorry. I had a weird internet hiccup there.
Yeah, but even as somebody who hasn't played 10 yet, even I know what the actual context of that scene was, and that people are. It's just one of those like that's the gaming meme. So people just kind of like took it as they will, you know.
I really like 10. I thought I'd maybe not get into it again. Because I played it when it first launched on PS2, but then I played it when they re-released it on PS3 and Vita, and like I would just play that while I was heading to work. Had a really good time with it again. I think it's very linear compared to a lot of the other ones, but it's a really charming
That's what
game.
makes the charm, you know.
I really want to play it. I'm gonna be the weirdo that tries playing it on the original PS2 version. I know that like there's improvements with the later versions, but I've seen some comparisons and like throwing the PS2 version up on an upscaler versus like the HD version is fucking pretentious, but I legitimately think the old version looks better.
Wait, are we still talking
Well,
about
you
Final
can't do
Fantasy
it,
X?
and it's also just it's kind of cool seeing the PS2 pull that game off.
Oh,
So.
totally. Like Final Fantasy X 2002 is definitely one of my favorites in the series.
We really should get you into a Final Fantasy game, pup. I actually do think 16 might be a good way to get you.
I think you'd take to 16 pretty well.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I love the Japanese role-playing game.
It's not a role playing game. It's an action RPG.
I'm talking
I
about
also-
Final Fantasy X 2001, mate. My favorite one.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, that's more
Yeah.
Just
traditional.
so-
looking up synopsis of all this stuff. On
I
Google.
I love how it's a single-player video game. That's one of my favorite aspects.
All right, gentlemen, I gotta wrap
Yeah,
this
yeah,
up.
right,
I gotta
right,
go pick
sorry.
up a friend soon.
Oh, you gotta go bugger off?
Soon, yeah. So we gotta keep. On
All right,
trucking.
well, okay. So we got have we acknowledged that Seaman sent in their very first super chat? We got another first time super chatter with Echo Kaslana, who sends in $9.99. Thank you. First time doing this and actually catching the show live. After several long weeks, finally managed to make it through all the episodes. Thanks, guys.
Wow.
Wow.
It went on a binge trip of all the Sunset City episodes. Congratulations for making it.
It just
Well,
reminds
it
me
says
of
finally managed
when
to make it through all the episode. Do they mean this one single episode or just?
I think because the episode's not
that's
all
a
over, I think they probably mean all the episodes. It I'm not gonna say it. It reminds me of that bit in South Park where they complete Guitar Hero.
It reminds me.
You
of
know what I'm
this
talking
recent
about.
Sonic Superstars.
You know what I'm talking about.
Why
Let's-
now 4-player episode?
Let's see. We've also
Alright.
got
It was very kind. No, really, though, that's fucking awesome.
I think Nick, you have the next one.
Yeah. Alex Spark with $2. Thank you. Welcome to Sunset City, where we're all Sonicked out. Yeah, on occasion, still love the Blue Boy.
Untrue. I just want to get excited about Sonic without feeling sad. And I know I can do it.
Amazing.
You can
All right,
try.
Wayne.
Okay, we got Astonishing Red with $4.99. Sorry.
Red.
Red. Redurarara. Happy birthday. Happy Friday. God, I swear.
Gilly's not here,
Give me
you
a-
idiot.
Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. Happy Friday, boys. How often do people recognize you guys in public? Sometimes or not at all? Just curious. I went to a gaming convention like a month or two ago where not a single person recognized me, if that tells you anything.
God.
Nick?
A couple times at a gaming convention.
Couple times? Gaming convention?
I mean, not super often. It's usually just us hanging out with Gilly and Ant and watching them get greeted, and then never moving across the showroom floor. That's usually how the convention scene goes there. And then Wayne and I will get bored and start walking around looking for stuff to buy.
Outside of conventions, there's actually a very recent interesting story. I just moved into my new hometown, and we got a Greg's just down the street. If you Americans don't know, they sell like sausage rolls and stuff like that.
Sure.
Food. And I go in there, and I go up to the guy on the counter, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll just take that and a sausage roll, please. And he's like, yeah, you got it. I told you sound like a YouTuber. I was like, funny enough, I just so happened to be a YouTuber. He goes, Channel Pup. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. How'd you deduce that from sausage roll and that, please? Like, but it was kind of amazing. It's kind of awesome. So yeah, now when I go in there and I get like a sausage roll, like last time I went in there, he was asking me, what do you think about David Corenswet being cast as Superman? I was like, it's a great decision. I'm like, this is kind of cool. So yeah, nice dude. Shout out to the Greg's fella.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, whose turn is it? My turn?
That
No,
is it. Pup.
Pup's turn because I read the last one.
It's
Yeah.
Pup's turn.
Okay.
All right.
I was thrown off when we don't have a full cast.
Black Yakuzu 94 sends $5. Thank you. The funniest thing about Prime Shadow is that he's the most competent version to date and not allowed to participate in the plot. And you know what? I fully agree with that. That's fucking ridiculous, innit, Black Yakuzu 94? God damn.
In it.
In it,
I had a
bro.
lot of fun with them, like going back while I was editing that video, and like actually just watching him a little bit more when 9 showed up. It's like I think I was really tired by the time the finale showed up that first time around, but just like Shadow's just like carefully observing 9 and like just flat out spelling things out for Sonic and things like that. I don't know. He's really good. He's really good in that.
So
show.
people having a fight outside my window. This is the true outskirts of London night, this.
Who's winning?
I don't know. I'm
All
just
right,
hearing
Ragcon.
a lot of anger.
For the first ever super chat through $1 and then followed up with 10. Thank you. Bit of a goof as I figure out this super chat stuff. Long story short, just hopeful Prime isn't the end of this animation style for Sonic. Even with its flaws, it has a lot of potential.
That wasn't a goof. You just meant to send us $11 because you're being real generous, Raikon. No, seriously, thank you. I fully agree. Like, if they say, we're getting another show with this animation style and it's not Prime, I'll be happy as Larry.
Yeah,
I just want this voice cast to disappear.
I agree.
That's my thing. It's like I've bitched and moaned about Sonic Prime. It's very well animated, and I think that the work that they put into the visuals really shows. And I would like to see more of that. It's definitely a cut above of what you normally get to see from like 3D animation for TV.
And without being that prick, I think Sonic Team or whoever animates these games could learn a thing or two from the Prime animation. And I know it's a different style, but here's what I'm getting at. The eyebrows. They use the eyebrows to make him look sad and stuff. And like, if they did that in the games instead of using his eyelids, that'd be kind of badass. Not gonna lie.
I mean, I praised it in that first video, and I'm still gonna keep it up. Like they understand that Sonic's made for movement, and they never forget that. And even though I get a bit tired of some of the samey battles, just seeing them express themselves through action is top notch. I think that's the strong suit of this show compared to I think any other bit of Sonic media I can think about, honestly. Like that's where this one stands out compared to other Sonic cartoons at the very least. So I really hope they utilize that somewhere. I would like us to get somewhere where like we have a stronger like it's not just boom where everything looks stiffer, but it's funnier, where this is a little more dragged out, but the animation is really fluid. I really hope next time around it's a little more balanced, just a little bit more clever to really match with that amazing animation. So yeah,
Yeah, it's right.
good stuff there.
This will highlight an issue for me, all right? And it's a little trivial, but like, look at he's made to look sad here. Look at his eyebrows. You notice all the sadness is just his eyelids. His eyebrows
Yeah.
are perfectly normal. Meanwhile, fucking even
He's an action figure.
even Boom, like fucking Boom. Look, that's how you do it. That's how you
Am
do
I
it.
being a hypocrite here? Like comparing these animation styles while also saying I don't give a shit about the animation quality of the opening cutscene.
Oh, definitely. There's no. I would say, look, the animation quality of the opening cutscene to Superstars is still quite a cut above the animation quality of general Sonic games. I mean, especially fucking Lost Worlds emoting. I think improves a little bit in Frontiers because they start, making his ears flop down when he's sad and shit, and I think that's quite cool. But like, there's still room for improvement. I want to see him use the eyebrows. Like he's got them, use them. Hell yeah.
I like to see him be a bit more expressive. I guess that's why I don't mind the opening cutscene, because even if it isn't as top quality as other classic Sonic games of recent years, it still does the job it needs to be doing. It's very expressive. I do like the dynamic camera work. Even with the more choppier frames, I still think it looks really nice and moves around nicely. But yeah, like
Look at
everything is
these.
still a step above like the cutscenes of Sonic Teams games.
Look at
I
these
need them
last
to
two
step
though.
it up.
Look at them.
Yeah. Yeah, night and day.
Yep.
Night and day. All right, gentlemen. About ready to wrap it up for today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play us
Cool.
out, Wayne.
Oh. Yeah.
Pup, what are you working on right now?
Okay, so I am right now working on the next part of the Spider-Man retrospective series, and this episode is a big one. Those of you who give a shit, as we'll be finding out the mystery of the very first live-action Spider-Man, and it's not who you think. And you're gonna have a few surprises in there. Definitely go check it out, alright, when it's out. It's not gonna be out tonight, but it will be soon. Check me out.
Yeah. Nick, what are you doing?
I'm taking a little bit of a break. Most of my Sonic Origins script is done. I'll get that up and running here sooner rather than later. Like I was like, well, as late as it is, like we'll just go super deep dive on all this stuff. But outside of that, I just got 2 videos done this week, both of them Sonic Prime related. So we've got a video about Chaos Sonic, and I got a video just kind of giving my general thoughts about Sonic Prime Season 2. So if you want to give that any love and support, definitely appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay. And as for me, Digimon World 2 has been. I'm working on it, and I've been saying that for like what feels like half a year at this point. But I'm hoping over the next week or two I can finally finish playing the goddamn game, and then I'm really hoping by the end of August I can have this video out there, and I'm really hoping you guys tune in for that because this is a big one, and it's taken up most of my ability to work on a lot of other projects over the past couple of years. I've also been trying to throw up more blooper reels and everything on my Patreon, so that's all there and everything like that. And I guess the only other thing to keep an eye out for is I started drawing again, and I'm trying to post more stuff on social media for artwork and everything. I want to start taking up art stuff again because I used to do that and I've been bad about that. So yeah,
That's awesome.
Nick, I've just had a brilliant idea for you.
What?
For next month, a theme month, alright? So like, obviously you got Mecha March Madness, November Chaotix. Ixis Norgust. Do every
That's really
Ixis
cute.
Norgus comic.
That's really cute. That's really cute. That's really cute. Yeah, I don't think that one's gonna do very well, but I do love the wordplay. I do
fucking
respect
hate
the wordplay.
Ixis Norgus. He's a boring villain.
Yeah, I agree. I don't
Yeah.
like him either.
What is he? What?
He's a wizard.
It's a Sadium Archie thing. Don't worry about it.
a saddle
Okay.
wizard. You know, it was in
I
that
will-
era.
I will not.
It was in that era where it's like, oh, we got to have a villain that's not Robotnik. What should we come up with? Wizard. Fuck.
Oh man, that would be pretty wizard.
Surprise, surprise! It's when Ian Flynn got a hold of him, made him way more interesting. But yeah,
It's literally a punchline at this point, isn't it? But
Yeah.
when Ian Flynn did it,
yep.
Yeah, you know.
it's either a
Well,
testament
alright.
to how good Ian Flynn is or the shit he's working with.
All right. I think that's about everything that we got for today. Nick, I know you got to be getting out of here. So thank you all for joining us. And we'll be back next week. I won't be here
Ooh.
next week, I don't think.
No, because is there a new time
Last
slot?
thing.
Or is that the final?
Ooh, no, I think it's Friday next week. But that is a good... Thank you for bringing that up. I think we said starting in August. It looks like we may actually be starting to change
Ixis
the
Novus.
time slot. So same time of the day, but we're going to be having to move things to Monday instead of Friday. So we'll be holding Sunset City on Mondays. Mostly just scheduling things just got kind of wonky, and we're just trying to make sure that it fits in a way where everybody can still make it.
So the next one's
So-
still Friday, but the one after that will be the first of a Monday batch, right?
At least that's my understanding. I think we'll try to have like an official announcement up once we get the rest of that sorted.
Keep an eye on the Twitter.
Yep. And I guess that's all we got. So where'd you put the body, pup?
My ass.